Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Low rounding and heading for second. The throw. In time.
On the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Last of this 5-gamer. It's been a back-and-forth series in Boston. The Blue Jays won the first 2, but the Red Sox have taken the last couple, setting us up for one more bout tonight at Fenway Park. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Roger Lajoie is our host. Nick Blackmore is our producer. And our technical director is Tom Young. Toronto Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Malton and Milton, Ontario. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com, Canada's #1 rust protection. Bowden Francis returns to the hill today, 5 days after he flirted with a no-hitter at Rogers Center. The 28-year-old has been one of the best starters in baseball this month, and he tries to continue that tonight in Boston. First, though, Cutter Crawford throws for the Red Sox next. You're listening to Blue Jays baseball, streaming at sportsnet.ca, the Sportsnet app, and across the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
The Blue Jays are inviting you to work from Dome. Put it in your calendar. 307 weekday starts this season. You can work from Dome with friends or coworkers at Rogers Center. It's a game changer. Make the ballpark your office for the afternoon. Work from Dome, 307 weekday starts. Let's touch base. Check out ticket options on bluejays.com/workfromdome.
Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's building center. Visit timbermart.ca.
It's Fantasy Football Draft Month on Fantasy Sports Radio. Hear how the experts draft their teams right now.
Stroud should be right there, 8 through 12 range of quarterback, not a top 3, 4, or 5 guy.
And learn winning strategies to help you win your league.
The opportunity cost is passing on one of those grade 8 wide receivers when I can get Derrick Henry and Isaiah Pacheco in the 3rd or 4th round.
Channel 87. And if you missed any of our drafts, hear them right now. Just search Fantasy Drafts on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Jays fans, this is George Springer, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on Sirius XM.
George Springer, airborne, snatches it out of the sky. The final game of this series about to go between the Blue Jays and the Red Sox. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. And if you were with us before the break, Bowden Francis is the big story today. He starts against Cutter Crawford. Francis has had a huge 3-start run. He's been great overall in the 5 starts since returning to the Blue Jays. He almost threw a no-hitter his last time out. Chris, what are you thinking? What are you looking for from Francis today against the Red Sox?
Well, August 12th is the date that he really started throwing that split finger more. That's the date that you can look back, hopefully in 5 years, 6 years, and say that's the date that changed Bowden Francis's career. He had 2 great starts against the Los Angeles Angels. They're not a great offensive team. This Boston Red Sox team, even without Rafael Devers, they're still a better offensive team than the Los Angeles Angels. I'm really excited to see how Bowden Francis pitches against an elite or higher tier offensive team, and I really think that he's going to do well. He just has to locate the fastball, get on top of the split finger, and he'll be fine.
Yeah, I think even without Devers, you'd put Boston ahead of the Angels and probably ahead of the Cubs, who he pitched well against in the middle of those 2 Angels starts as well. To get to those lineups, the standings, and a little bit more before first pitch, let's go back to baseball control. Here is today's host, Roger Lajoie.
And Ben, Chris, thanks very much. Nice to be with you. And yes, let's take a look at the Bet365 standings. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly, Ontario only. The Yankees and the Orioles in the AL East are battling, and they've been battling for weeks now. Yankees up by 1 on the Orioles heading into tonight's play. Boston sitting third in the division, 8.5 back of first, 7.5 back of Baltimore. Tampa Bay in fourth, 11.5 back, and the Blue Jays, as they have most of the year, pulling up the rear in the American League East. 65-70, the Jays come in tonight, 13.5 back in the division, 8 games back in the wild card, and still chasing 5 teams. So almost impossible task for the Blue Jays ahead. But they've been playing some good baseball recently. AL Central still led by Cleveland. Here come the Kansas City Royals. The Royals are just a game back of Cleveland. Minnesota 3.5 back. Detroit 8.5 back. The Chicago White Sox 31-104 and 45.5 games out of first place. How's that for a year? AL West, the Houston Astros have opened up a 3.5 game lead on Seattle. Texas third, 8.5 back. Oakland 13 back, and the Los Angeles Angels 16.5 back. In the National League, the Phillies lead the Braves by 5. The Mets are 3.5 further back. In the Central, the Brewers up by 9.5 on the Cubs. And in the NL West, the Los Angeles Dodgers 3.5 up on the Arizona Diamondbacks, 4.5 up on San Diego. And those are the Bet365 standings. Here are the starting lineups for tonight's game. The Blue Jays, managed by John Schneider, enter the game with a record of 65-70 for 5th place in the AL East, as we just said. Leading off in right field is George Springer. Batting second in center field, Dalton Varsho. Hitting third, DHing tonight, is Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who enters the game with a .955 OPS. He has been hot in the second half. Batting fourth, first baseman Spencer Horwitz. Hitting fifth, Addison Barger, playing third. Batting sixth at shortstop, Ernie Clement. Hitting seventh in left field is Joey Loperfido. Batting eighth, Leo Jimenez at second base. And hitting ninth and catching tonight, Brian Servin. Bowden Francis gets the ball, 7-3, 4.02 ERA, and coming off that near no-hitter in his last start. Alex Cora's Boston Red Sox enter the game at 69-64. Jaron Duran opens up, leading off in center field tonight. Batting second at second base is Mickey Gasper. Hitting third, the Canadian in left field, Tyler O'Neill. Batting fourth, Tristan Casas at first base. Hitting fifth, Wilyer Abreu in right field. Batting sixth, DH tonight, Matasaka Yoshida. Hitting seventh, Danny Jansen for the Red Sox. Will not play for the Blue Jays tonight. Batting eighth is Nick Sogard at first base. And hitting ninth, Cedon Rafaela at shortstop. And as the guy said, Cutter Crawford gets the ball, 8-11 with a 4.19 ERA. Those are the starting lineups. First pitch is just a couple of moments away. Reminder, the Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. With the call of the game, back to Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Raj. The Red Sox about to take the field for this final one of 4 or of 5 against the Blue Jays. Toronto won the resumed game and then won the next game on Monday, but the Red Sox have won the last 2 in Boston, trying to generate some momentum here as they've gained on the wild card each of the last 2 days, now sitting only 3 games back of the Minnesota Twins.
This is a good team. The Boston Red Sox could really make a push here, sitting at 69-64. Even without Rafael Devers, we've seen David Hamilton, who was just added to unfortunately for the Red Sox, added to the IL today. And then you have Jaron Duran, Tristan Casas, a lot of good players on this roster. Like I said, even without Rafael Devers.
Cutter Crawford on the mound right now for the Red Sox. Crawford getting his warm-up pitches in before his 28th start of the season. 8-11 with a 4.19 ERA. 138 strikeouts to only 40 walks and 148 and a third innings pitched. He's had an interesting year. Really hot to start, but hasn't been at his best recently.
Yeah, he hasn't been incredible, right? 40 walks and 148 innings. The Blue Jays have to be patient today. He's a higher strikeout guy, almost 9 Ks per 9. But like you said, it's been a little – there's been rough patches this season for Cutter Crawford. But Blue Jays they're doing well right now. I like the way the Blue Jays look. Even with all these young players, they're really putting together good at-bats. They're really making good contact on pitches they should be hitting well. And I think if you're John Schneider, you should be liking what you're seeing so far.
Before yesterday's game, the Blue Jays had a 6-game run where they averaged more than 5 runs a game, which would put them right at the top of the league on the season averages. Obviously, yesterday was a tough one. Brian Bayo came out and threw 8 scoreless innings and allowed only 2 hits and a walk to the Blue Jays in a game that they'd lose 3-0. Just about to get set in the first inning, which is brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Bring nature to your backyard with Armstrong, feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com. Home plate umpire and crew chief Chris Conroy getting behind the plate. Shane Livensparger at first. It's Brian O'Nora at second and Brennan Miller at third. And Crawford just getting his last tosses in before George Springer comes up to lead off for the Blue Jays. Springer greeting Danny Jansen, gives him a pat on the head before Jansen tries to sling the mask on. Missed the helmet of the 2-piece mask a couple times, trying to get the face piece on, and now he's ready to go. He's in the crouch, and Springer steps into the box. Blue Jays in the baby blues, Red Sox in the home whites. The righty Crawford twists to the right, kicks and delivers. First pitch fastball outside, ball 1. Time of the first pitch is 7:11 Eastern. Not a super warm day in Boston, 18 degrees Celsius, but pretty sunny. 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Crawford just got Springer to swing at a cutter. For the righty, it's 4-seamer, cutter, sweeper, splitter, and curve. 1-1. Curveball hit on the ground and picked up at third. Throw over to first by Nick Sogard. Bounces, but it's dug out by Casas for the first out.
Pretty routine play by Nick Sogard, but he didn't quite get it to first base. Tristan Casas with actually a tough play. Pretty good pick over there for out number 1.
And for Sogard, he was just called up today when David Hamilton went on the injured list. He has played in the majors before, but only 12 times. And, of course, the first ball of the game goes right at him at third.
Well, if you don't want it, it's going to find you. I can promise you that.
Here's the pitch now to Dalton Varsho. Up and in, ball 1. 1 out, top of the first, no score. Varsho, .219 batter this year, 16 homers and 54 RBIs. The pitch. Outside, ball 2.
Cutter Crawford has a really funky arm motion. It's kind of a short arm catcher like motion. Must be tough to hit against.
2-0. Up and in, ball 3. This doesn't get talked about as much as maybe it was 10 years ago. He hides the ball really well. It's almost sitting behind his ear or his neck right until he releases it. 3-0. Upstairs, ball 4. He unleashes a 4-pitch walk right there to Varsho, who's aboard with 1 out. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Roger Lajoie is our host, Nick Blackmore our producer, and Tom Young our technical director. Varsho on first after the walk, and here comes Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with 1 out in the first. Crawford's pitch. Swing and a miss. Tight cutter for strike 1. Vlad had 1 of the 2 Blue Jay hits yesterday, finished 1 for 3. 0-1. Downstairs, 1 ball, 1 strike. If you want to know how well Brian Bayo pitched, for Guerrero, the number 3 hitter in the order, to only come up 3 times in the game means that the Red Sox as a whole faced 2 above the minimum in that game. 1-1. Swing and a liner down in left field for a base hit. Didn't get all of it. It was off the plate outside, but he just reached out and flicked it into left field for a single, and Dalton Varsho moves up to second.
Yeah, it was actually not a bad pitch. A sweeper from Cutter Crawford. A little bit high, a little bit thigh high. But Vlad not really trying to do too much with that ball, just trying to fillet that thing out to the outfield and drops it in front of Tyler O'Neill out in left field.
So another hit for Guerrero, and now an opportunity for Spencer Horwitz in the first to drive in some runs. Vlad's on first. Varsho's on second. Only one out. Right on left pitch. Curveball, strike one. That curveball was 76 miles an hour. He'll throw the fastball as hard as 94, 95. A 1 hit foul, and it's 0-2. Horwitz DH'd yesterday. First baseman for the Blue Jays today, stepping back in. Guerrero on first base is the DH. Now Horwitz is going to ask for time. Rookie's a .257 batter, 14 doubles, 8 home runs, and 26 RBIs in just over 70 games. 0-2. Bounces it softly to second base. Picked up there by Mickey Gasper. His only play is first. He throws over for the out. Both runners will move up 90 feet. Varsho on third and Guerrero on second. 2 down.
Yeah, Mickey Gasper didn't really have a chance to throw that runner out at second base. A super slow roller. That cutter from Cutter Crawford got in on Spencer Horowitz's hands and hit about a 4 bouncer to second base for the easy out.
Cutter Crawford trying to work through trouble. Second and third, 2 outs, and Addison Barger up. 2:04 batter. The pitch. Low ball 1. Cutter Crawford was a 16th rounder by the Red Sox in 2017 out of Florida Gulf Coast University. (1-0). Bounced foul to the right.
That's where Chris Sale went.
It is where Chris Sale went. Sale would be the most notable Florida Gulf Coast alum, but a couple other Eagles that you might know. Rich Blyer, a longtime reliever, went to Florida Gulf Coast. Former Blue Jay Jacob Barnes was a Florida Gulf Coast Eagle as well. 1-1. Outside.
Big AB right here for Addison Barger. He's been seeing the ball a heck of a lot better recently, hitting 204 now. You wouldn't have thought that about 2 weeks ago. He's going the other way. He's taking tough pitches. 2 runners on here with 2 outs.
The 2-1. High ball 3. Worked himself into a pretty nice count.
He looks a lot more confident in the box. I think that's one of the biggest things. Once you get to the big leagues and you start having just a little bit of success, you really start feeling good about yourself.
Crawford set at the belt. The pitch to Barger. On the inside edge, strike 2. Barger thought about swinging but held back. Kind of a perfect pitch up at the hands. So a full count with 2 outs now. Guerrero on second. He had a single. And it's Varsho on third. He walked. Payoff pitch. Swing and a fly ball. Right field line. Racing in and toward the line. Abreu makes the catch and ends the inning. Blue Jays come up with no runs on 1 hit. They leave 2 on, and we go to the bottom of the first in a scoreless game. Bowden Francis takes the mound next. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. We could paint your face. Come and meet Ace and run base to base. Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You could bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Sundays are for Junior Jays, and with all kinds of cool new games and activities in the exciting outfield district areas, there's no end to the family fun you'll have.
If you're feeling the song, grab your dad or mom. Visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com. At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting, because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Bases loaded. The 0-2 swung on and missed. Strike 3.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bowden Francis on the rubber for the bottom of the first inning. 0-0 Blue Jays and Red Sox. Francis's pitch to Jarren Duran is popped up. Back of shortstop Ernie Clement onto the left center field grass, makes the catch. 1 out. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Thanks for joining us tonight. For Francis, he's making his 9th start of the season, 23rd appearance, 7-3 with a 4.02 earned run average.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's been very good over his last 3 starts. The biggest thing for him, throw strike 1 with that mid-90s fastball and then get on top of that split finger. I don't want to see any floaters through the zone today.
First pitch to Mickey Gasper is a fastball for strike 1. Great way to start his day. Jarren Duran has been a huge thorn in the side of Blue Jays starting pitchers, and he got him on 1 pitch. Now facing Gasper, who's bumped way up the lineup, playing in just his 8th major league game, batting second for the Red Sox. 0-1. Splitter hit off the glove of Servin, bouncing back foul, 0-2.
Mickey Gasper actually looks like a left-handed version of Davis Schneider.
He's got that Magnum PI mustache. Yeah. No glasses, but I see what you're seeing for sure. 0-2. Swing and a line drive headed to left field. Caught by Joey Loperfido, 4 and out. Gasper still searching for his first major league hit. Now goes to 0 for 9 as a major leaguer.
Well, Gasper is a pretty good hitter. You can tell he hit a good line drive for an out last night, and then another good line drive there. He'll start to get some hits in bunches for sure.
He goes down this time though, and Bowden Francis gets a new baseball. 4 pitches and 2 outs already for Francis in the bottom of the first, but big Tyler O'Neill stands in his way. Right-handed hitting left fielder for the Red Sox steps in, and the pitch from Francis. Swing and a pop-up. Near short. Ernie Clement making the call, moves to his left, makes a 2-handed catch, and it's a 5-pitch bottom of the first for Bowden Francis. We roll on to the second in a scoreless game. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Get closer to comedy with Sirius XM.
Welcome, everybody.
Exclusive comedy talk shows.
This is childlike banter.
This is gonna be nuts. The biggest comedy stars.
Does Jerry Seinfeld miss TV?
Kevin, I did TV.
Michael Che, Colin Jost. Do you guys think post SNL?
I would like to meet my kids. Brian Regan. If I could make $100 doing comedy, I'll have the world by the tail.
I'll do this till the wheels come off.
I didn't even know that was legal.
Don't miss a moment. Search comedy on the Sirius XM app.
Feel the thrill of the Premier League on Sirius XM FC.
Arsenal running riot. A quick fire double from Chelsea.
Hear every pulse-pounding moment.
Haaland scores the hat-trick. Brilliant left-foot strike by Salah. What a goal by Marcus Rashford.
From the world's most exciting league.
Absolutely glorious from Tottenham Hotspur.
Manchester United turn it round.
All on your radio home for the beautiful game.
If you like soccer, you are in the right place.
The Premier League lives on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Be the most informed player in your fantasy football league by listening to the experts on Fantasy Sports Radio.
I want to thank you guys for making me a better fantasy player.
Hear player rankings, position breakdowns, and expert drafts.
There is no bigger value today than Dak Prescott.
Going deep down the right side, got a man, it's caught, touchdown Cowboys.
The road to a fantasy football championship begins with Fantasy Sports Radio. Channel 87 in the car and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Hey everyone, it's Justin Turbin at your 24/7 home for hoops all year long is Sirius XM NBA Radio Channel 86 and the Sirius XM app. Just search NBA Radio
Network.
The second inning is presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. Welcome back to Blue Jays baseball. Toronto's at Fenway Park, batting in the top of the second. Cutter Crawford's pitch to Ernie Clement. Strike one with the cutter. I'm Ben Schulman. To my left is Chris LaRue. Blue Jays had some traffic in the first, but couldn't score. Now the 0-1. Hit in the air, right field, backing up Abreu. He stops in front of the track and makes the catch. 1 out. You mentioned when we were talking about Cutter Crawford in the first inning that he went to Florida Gulf Coast just like Chris Sale went to Florida Gulf Coast University, and obviously those two were teammates on the Red Sox for a couple seasons. Crawford talked at length about his relationship with Sale coming into this season when Sale moved on to Atlanta. Pitch now to Joey Loperfido. Swinging a foul back, 0-1. At the time, to the Naples Daily News in Florida, he had said, quote, "I learned from Chris a lot, just trying to pick his brain and his process through games, his approach to day-to-day grind." 0-1 pitch. High, 1 ball, 1 strike.
It has to be pretty cool for a mid-major program like that to have two everyday starting big leaguers like Chris Sale and Cutter Crawford. I mean, I went to a mid-major. We definitely didn't ever have two frontline starters like these two guys.
1-1 curve high, 2-1. Was there a guy, though, maybe like not someone who went to Winthrop, but when you got into the majors that you talked to a lot, kind of like Crawford is saying he did to Sale? Here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss, 2-2.
Honestly, not really. Like, I feel like Cutter Crawford and my situation are very different. He's been given a long leash with the Boston Red Sox. I was always just fighting and clawing for every single inning that I could get, always looking over my shoulder. Not really a comfortable situation for anybody to be in.
2-2 pitch, up and away, ball 3.
But I did have Kevin Slowey, who was I think he was a 7 or 8 year big leaguer. He got up to the big leagues pretty quickly. He went to Winthrop. He was my roommate while we were there, and he was a very cerebral guy. He works for the Players Association now, so every once in a while I sent him a text. I picked his brain.
3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Great cutter in on the hands. Gets Loperfido, and Cutter Crawford has his first strikeout of the day.
That might have been the best cutter of the day from Cutter Crawford. Started in on the plate and then just quickly took a left turn underneath the barrel of Loperfido. Pretty good pitch right there.
Now back-to-back outs here to start the second inning. Crawford's retired 4 in a row after the Guerrero hit. And the righty's pitch to Leo Jimenez. Outside, ball 1. Early in this season, it looked like Cutter Crawford was kind of passed the baton from Sale to be the ace for the Red Sox. 1-0 pitch, hit foul, 1-1. I mean, there were some contenders alongside him in the Red Sox rotation, but Crawford entered the All-Star break with an ERA of exactly 3. Since the All-Star break, his earned run average in 9 starts has been over 8. It has really flipped on him. 1-1. Swing and a cue shot grounder back to the pitcher. He picks it up and flips it over to the first baseman Casas, and Cutter Crawford has a 1-2-3 top of the second. Still no score at Fenway Park. You're listening to Blue Jays baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
So, you want to be a Looney Dogger, eh? Every Tuesday Blue Jays home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. Grab $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around Rogers Center. Plus, stop by the Schneider's Porch, your hot dog headquarters. The destination for a one-of-a-kind hot dog experience with excellent ballpark views. So, whether you're the relish ringleader or 7th inning snacker, no Blue Jays game is complete without hot dogs. Don't miss out on this delicious deal. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
We're 2 men in a truck. the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikey's accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Green kicks and delivers. Swing and a miss! They defeat the Mariners.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Want to spend your next family vacation in Mexico or at Disney World? Now's your chance to win some of the best add-on prizes Jays Care has ever offered during their Split the Pot raffle. Then at the end of September, you could be one of 10 winners taking home a life-changing amount of money. Get your tickets at bluejays.com/5050 from Ontario or Nova Scotia. Welcome back, Fenway Park. No score, Blue Jays and Red Sox. Bowden Francis delivers a first pitch strike to Tristan Casas. Now the next pitch. Fastball up and in, 1-1.
Bowden Francis, of course, wearing his trusty purple glove. I'd wear it too if I was pitching like him.
And I would have called it blue if he hadn't said that, so that's good to know. Right on left, 1-1. Swing and a miss. Got Casas out in front on the splitter. It's 1-2.
Yeah, that was a good one right there. Good arm action. Looked like a fastball and then just dropped off the table. Casas was way out in front of it.
Well, the splitter has made all the headlines recently. John Schneider did say yesterday that he thought fastball location was one of the most important things in Francis getting this big run going of the last 3-4 starts. 1-2. Called. Strike 3. Drops the splitter on the outside edge. Casas frozen in place. Now starts to walk back to the dugout. There's one out.
Yeah, Casas didn't like that call, but kind of just to add on to what John Schneider was saying, I think the most important thing for Bowden Francis is that elevated heater and that heater away. If he has both of those things, it doesn't really matter how good that split finger is or where it's located. I think that as long as you have split finger or elevated fastball in the back of your mind, the hitters will struggle.
First pitch fastball to Wilyer Abreu misses inside, and it's 1-0. 1 out, no score. Bottom of the second, base is empty. Next pitch. Fastball popped up. Third base side foul. Serving giving it a look, so is Barger. But that one's going to get way into the concourse. It's 1-1. Wilyer Abreu's a .269 hitter this year, up right now for Boston. 28 doubles, 2 triples, and 14 home runs. 1-1. Outside, 2-1. Abreu's rookie season was a little bit interrupted by a freak injury. 2-1. Swing and a pop-up, and this one will get just behind the shortstop. Clement Loperfido, the left fielder, races in and makes the catch. 2 down.
And that fastball was pretty hittable on the inside part of the plate, just 92 miles an hour. You could see the frustration after Abreu popped that thing up. But again, it's because there's split finger in the back of these Red Sox hitters, right? In the back of their mind, they're thinking split fingers. So that 92 turns into 96 or 95, and then they're a little bit behind it, and they end up popping it up.
A lot of pop-ups early on, or fly balls produced by Bowden Francis. His pitch down to Masataka Yoshida is 92 down the heart of the plate for strike 1. Yoshida keeps burning the Blue Jays. Did it yesterday with 3 hits. And he's batting .297 on the year. 0-1. Swing and a soft liner caught at second by Jimenez. That will do it for the second inning. 6 up, 6 down for Bowden Francis. No score at Fenway Park through 2 innings. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed-rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com. At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Jose Barrios with a trio of strikeouts to end a scoreless sixth.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The third inning is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Malton and Milton, Ontario. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com. Canada's #1 rust protection. Cutter Crawford back up on the hill. 9-1-2 for the Blue Jays. Brian Servin, George Springer, and Dalton Varsho to bat in the third. The pitch now to Servin. Swing and a pop-up. Behind the plate and off to the first base side. Jansen giving it a look, but that gets onto the netting. Strike one on the foul ball.
And how about Bowden Francis? 15 pitches through the first 2 innings, 12 strikes.
It's a good thing to do when you're coming off 117 in his last start, which was the second most by any Blue Jay this year. Only Kevin Gausman's 118 on July 27th beat it. Cutter Crawford's 0-1. Down and away, 1 ball, 1 strike.
I mean, you have to think if he didn't give up that home run to Taylor Ward, he might have and ended up pitching a no-hitter. I would imagine he would have got up to like 125, 128, somewhere around there.
Very possible. 1-1. Down and away, 2-1.
That's very Japanese of him.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't see that in the big leagues these days. It's not really the norm. Ryan Baio had 8 scoreless innings yesterday, under 100 pitches, and he was lifted. 2-1. Swing and a fly ball, shallow center field. Mickey Gasper calling for it. The second baseman gets turned around and it drops behind him. And Brian Servin is safe at second base. Gasper called for it. Not sure if Duran in center couldn't see it, but Gasper ran all the way out pretty much into center field. Definitely not his ball. And for Brian Servin, it'll go as his second double of the year. No one touched it.
Yeah, that should have been a routine play for Jarren Duran. I believe he didn't know where that ball was. But Mickey Gasper was way out in center field, almost where the center fielder would normally play. That was a weird one.
Blue Jays will take it, though, already now with 2 hits and a walk today, matching their total output from yesterday's game. George Springer up in a swing and a miss out of sweeper. Strike one. Runner on second, no outs, no score, top of the third. Springer batting .218 after his ground out in the first, 19 home runs. 0-1. Outside. Springer with a lot of success against Cutter Crawford in his career. 4 for 11 with a home run. 1-1. Called strike, looked a little outside. It's 1-2. Big Monday for Springer with a pair of homers, less over the last 2 days. 1-2. He swings and fouls off a high sweeper. Springer walks across the plate, wipes his forehead, steps back into the box. You can see long dark blue sleeves peeking out from his jersey. Chilly night in Boston for August. 1-2. Swing and a bouncer. Hit to third, picked up by Nick Sogard. Looks back the runner at second and throws to first. 1 out.
Cutter Crawford throws so many sweepers, so many cutters that when he throws that four-seam fastball only at 92 miles an hour, really gets on you. And he threw that four-seam up above the strike zone and really tied up George Springer on that one.
A lot of the Red Sox starters have pulled back from their four-seamers. It seems like something that Craig Breslow and Andrew Bailey have implemented. Crawford, though, is the opposite. He still throws his four-seamer more than any other pitch. His pitch now to Dalton Varsho. Inside with the heater, ball 1. Varsho walked back in the first inning, trying to start a new on-base streak after he lost his 23-gamer yesterday. 1-0. Swing and a soft roller hit to second, picked up by Gasper. He'll throw to Casas at first. Servant advances up to third base, but now 2 outs.
Pretty good pitch right there from Cutter Crawford. Another cutter on the inside part of the plate. Really got in on the hands of Dalton Varsho. He might have even broken his bat on that pitch right there. A weak ground ball to second base for out number 2.
Crawford doing his best here to spoil the bloop double that led off the inning. Servant kind of popped it up or hit a fly ball to shallow center field, and it's just some sort of cross-up. Jarren Duran and Mickey Casper. It dropped in. But he still has to get Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to make this a scoreless frame. Crawford winds and delivers. Swing and a miss at a cutter outside. 0-1.
I wouldn't even be surprised if they try to pitch around him here. Now that they're ahead 0-1, obviously they can elevate, they can bury something, but probably won't get anything over the heart of the plate in this at-bat.
The wind and the pitch. Just missed up and away. Ball 1. Guerrero got a hit off Crawford in the first inning, but he had to reach for a pitch off the plate. It was outside, and he just got around it to flick it into left field. Now the 1-1. Swing and a fly ball, center field. Durant going back at the wall, leaps, and it bangs off the wall down on the track. Servant in to score. Guerrero up to second, an RBI double. It's 1-0 Blue Jays.
And boy, was I wrong. That was a fastball about thigh high right down the middle, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. did not miss it for his 38th double of the season off of that center fielder wall.
And that's the deepest part of the yard, 420 feet out there to pretty much dead center. And it's a high wall, too. And Vlad didn't miss a home run by much. Blue Jays with the first punch in this one. They capitalize off the bloop double to start the inning, and it's 1-0. Here's Spencer Horwitz, who takes the first pitch up high, ball 1.
And I can guarantee that Cutter Crawford was not trying to throw that fastball right there. Middle, thigh high. A pitch that Vlad can do damage with all day long.
Now the 1-0. Cutter for a strike, 1-1. Vlad hit that 403 feet out to center field. He's on second with 2 down, and the pitch to Horwitz. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Guerrero's double would have been a home run in 6 ballparks. Rogers Center is not one of them, and obviously neither is Fenway Park. Guerrero on second, though. Horwitz 0 for 1, the 1-2. Swing and a hot shot grounder. Diving stop down the first baseline by Casas. Gets up and throws back to Crawford, covering. No, he wasn't on the bag. Horwitz is safe, says first base umpire Shane Livensparger. And you have to imagine that Alex Cora is going to take a long look at this one. Casas dove, turned around, and just sat up from the seat of his pants to toss to the pitcher.
Boston is challenging the safe call at first base.
And we just got to look. I mean, he absolutely got him out.
Yeah, that's going to be a quick call from New York. Cutter Crawford's right foot is clearly on that base as he's catching that baseball. This call is going to be reversed.
He did stumble over the bag. It was an awkward play, but definitely this will be overturned. There's no way around that. And so this should end the inning as Horwitz hands away his offensive equipment. We'll wait for the official word from Chris Conroy, but there's almost no doubt at all in this call.
Yeah, Spencer Horwitz already has that helmet off. Guys are walking off the field. It's a very easy decision.
Umpires still waiting, though, as the players have already made the decision. This has been an abnormally long review for a very clear replay.
After review, the call is overturned. Runner is out. Boston keeps his challenge.
So Horwitz is retired after all, but the Blue Jays take a 1-0 lead. Doubles from Servin and then Vladimir Guerrero Jr. put Toronto on top, middle of the third. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM. We're back on the track Sunday,
5 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Cookout Southern 500 from Darlington Raceway.
Checker flag, baby. Yeah.
On SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app. Get closer to everything that moves you wherever you are with the SiriusXM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yeah.
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your SiriusXM subscription? What? Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on SiriusXM Channel 89. Or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. SiriusXM Sports. We're more than just a game.
This is Dave LaGreca, creator of the biggest pro wrestling show on the planet, Busted Open. Don't miss myself and my Hall of Fame cast and crew as we break down every story in and out of the ring and talk to the top names in the business, like the legend himself, The Undertaker.
I'm actually glad to be on a real show.
Catch Busted Open live every day from 9 to noon Eastern on SiriusXM Fight Nation, channel 156, and on the SiriusXM app.
Fantasy football players, learn winning strategies right now on Fantasy Sports Radio to help you draft a winning team on Channel 87 and on the SiriusXM app.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
1-0 Blue Jays go into the bottom of the third inning at Fenway Park. Bowden Francis into the wind. His pitch to Danny Jansen is hit in the air to left field. Backing up near the monster, Lo Perfido stops in front of the track and makes the catch. 1 out. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. Hit a home run on your next home improvement. For a great selection of renovation products and quality brands, Timber Mart has the bases loaded for a grand slam on every project. Batter up. Timber Mart is Canada's building center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue, and Bowden Francis just keeps moving along. He's recorded 7 outs in 16 pitches. No base runners for Boston yet. The pitch to Nick Sogard is called strike 1.
And he's also thrown a ton of fastballs, not really a lot of split fingers. We haven't really seen a curveball yet, but he's just really locating that fastball well.
0-1. Pounced a curveball in there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nick Sogard hitting for the first time in this game, playing third base. He's up today because they had to move David Hamilton to the injured list, did the Red Sox. He swings at the 1-1 and hits it on the ground to second, picked up by Jimenez. And there's an out at first as Leo throws over to Spencer Horwitz. That was the splitter there, and now 2 down.
Yeah, that split finger really didn't have a ton of movement, but like I've said a couple of times tonight already, it's all about the arm speed. It's all about the release point. If it looks like a fastball and it's 12 miles an hour slower than that fastball, obviously they're going to be out in front. They're going to mishit it. They're going to pop it up, and that's what happened right there.
2 down now. Still 1-0 Blue Jays. The pitch to Cedon Rafaela is a slider, ball 1. So do you almost see it more as like a split change than a split finger fastball?
I mean, he does throw some split fingers where he gets on top of it and it has a lot of drop, a lot of vertical action to it, but a lot of them are just floating changeups, really.
1-0 pitch fouled back, 1-1.
So it's all about deception. I mean, I like to think that he has deception with his delivery, with his arm action. There has to be something because you're seeing so many mishits.
Francis winds and delivers. Fastball hit foul. Almost looked like there was a little bit of cut on that fastball at the top of the zone. It's 1-2.
Just a well-located heater at the top of the zone. I mean, if you can do that more often than not, you're going to have success.
Trying to get through the top 9 unscathed. 1-2 pitch, down and away 2-2, or the first 9 rather. He has retired all 8 he's faced so far. Righty with a breath. Steps and the pitch. It is hit foul off to the right. One of the harder fastballs we've seen today. 94 on the outside corner.
And again, just a really well-located fastball. Not a lot of movement. A four-seam fastball, but down and away. Cedar Rafaela, even if he squared that ball up, he probably wouldn't have done much with it.
2-2 again. Splitter hit in the air, left field and deep. Loperfido back, and he has room to make the catch in front of the monster and end the inning. 9 up, 9 down for Bowden Francis in under 30 pitches. He's through 3 innings, and the Blue Jays are up 1-0 going to the 4th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The 2024 season is approaching.
Focus on the football, fellas. Focus.
What's up, Blue Jays fans? Thanks for hanging out with us tonight for the Toronto Blue Jays matchup. Please take a minute and exit out of the chat and hit that thumbs up button. Please smash that like button. We really need your help so we can get more Blue Jays fans and baseball fans here in the chat so we can have a great time here watching the Blue Jays game against the Red Sox. We'll see you guys back in the chat. Let's have some fun tonight. Let's keep it classy. Go Blue Jays, go.
Rip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on SiriusXM Channel 89 and every morning on the SiriusXM app.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM. We're back on the track Sunday,
5 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Cookout Southern 500 from Darlington Raceway.
Packer fly, baby. Yeah.
On SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app. Get closer to everything that moves you wherever you are with the SiriusXM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yeah.
SiriusXM NFL Radio is your home for the National Football League all year long on Channel 88 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Network. Addison Barger leading off the top of the 4th for the Blue Jays. 1-0 Toronto. And Cutter Crawford's pitch is a curveball for strike 1. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Thank you for joining us. 5th and final game that the Blue Jays play in this series in Boston. 0-1 inside. Addison Barger has hits in all of them. He has hits in 6 games in a row, and that doesn't include the first game that the Blue Jays played on Monday. 1-1. Swing and a flare just out to third base. Pop-up caught there by Sogard. 1 out.
He needs to make sure that elbow guard is on better next time. As soon as he started swinging that bat, that elbow guard came flying off. Wonder if that affected his swing at all.
Can't be comfortable, although he swings so fast. Who even knows?
Maybe that's why.
1 out now. Ernie Clement coming up to the plate. Crawford winds and delivers. Strike 1. The 4th inning is presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can bet live in-game on game props, totals, and the money line. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. 0-1 hit on the ground is short. Charging in, it's backhanded by Rafaela. Sidearm sling to first, gets Clement. And there are 2 outs.
That was a pretty nice play from Rafael. Ernie Clement was busting it down the line. He was out at first base, maybe by a half a step. Pretty close play. Bang, bang there, but what a play from Rafaela.
Yeah, you got him by maybe like a third of a step. That was really close. We just got another look at it. Now 2 down, bases empty. Joey Loperfido up. He's 0 for 1. Right on left pitch. High and outside, ball 1. Let's go quickly to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. St. Louis Bar and Grill, devilishly good since Toronto first raised the trophy in '92. 1-0 pitch. Swing and a fly ball, shallow left field. Shortstop Rafael going for it. He makes the catch. We'll get to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard when we return. 1-0 Blue Jays, middle of the 4th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2menintruck.ca. We've got lots of men and lots of trucks, so get ready to be moved.
Think 2menintruck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2menintruck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2menintruck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com. At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Kirk smacks it down the left field line. This one's got a chance. It's good.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue. Blue Jays leading the Red Sox 1-0. Top of the order for Boston in the bottom of the 4th. The pitch from Bowden Francis to Jarren Duran, strike 1.
And this is where it starts to get interesting. It's the second time through the lineup. You want to mix up your pitches a little bit more, locate a little bit better. It's a game of cat and mouse right now.
0-1. Splitter just off the plate away. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Bowden Francis asking where that pitch was, pointing with his thumb. Was that outside? Chris Conroy saying, yep.
1-1. Curveball hit foul right side, 1-2. Hard to do better than Bowden Francis did first time through the order. Got everyone he faced, 1 strikeout, and he threw 25 pitches in 3 innings.
And he is just so relaxed. He's like on vacation out there.
1-2. High fastball, pop back foul into the netting behind home plate. Francis is a never too high, never too low type of guy. Obviously, he had struggles early in the year, never seemed to be too far down, and hasn't reacted much to being one of the more dominant guys in the majors recently. Bounces the 1-2 splitter, and now it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. This is about the longest at-bat he's had so far today. 2-2. Fastball ripped right side. Diving stop. Jimenez gets up and bounces it to first. It's past Horwitz. And now Horwitz and Duran collide. And Duran at first for now, but he's going to get second base, I think. As he and Spencer Horwitz came together as Duran was going around first thinking about second. Leo Jimenez makes an incredible diving stop at second base. but had to throw quickly even from second to get Duran and skipped it to the backhand side.
I actually think that Leo Jimenez had more time than he thought. He got up and kind of rushed the throw. But if he didn't rush the throw, they still would have got Duran at first base.
I believe they are leaving Duran at first, by the way. Horwitz was pretty much on first base, in fairness to him, and Duran ran into him. And so Duran will be safe at first. They give an error there to Leo Jimenez. And now the first runner on for the Red Sox. Pitch now to Mickey Gasper from Bowden Francis. And time was asked for right before the pitch. Francis still delivered to the plate, but the pitch won't count.
And first base umpire Shane Livensparger, he was pointing, and I thought he was pointing at second base to give Duran second base, but I think he was pointing at first base saying, hey, stay at first base. You're not going anywhere.
Now the first pitch to Mickey Gasper. Rather throw over to first. We'll wait again as Duran dives back in safe.
Duran can run. He's got 32 stolen bases this year. So if you're Bowden Francis, you might want to be quick to the plate. You might want to hold the ball.
First pitch. Splitter high, ball one.
And again, Bowden Francis asking, putting that thumb up like a thumbs up motion, asking if that pitch was high. Definitely was.
Francis back on the rubber, turns toward first to look at Duran. And now the 1-0, runner going, pitches low a ball, throw down to second, and the call is safe, but that one was close. Ernie Clement's looking back to the dugout, and to the naked eye, I thought he got him.
Yeah, Duran was past Ernie Clement, but Ernie Clement quickly caught that ball and hit him on the hamstring as he was going by. I'd love to see a slower replay of this. Here we go. I think they might have got him.
I think they might have got him.
Toronto's challenging the safe call at second base.
Yeah, he's out.
The Blue Jays think so too. This is going to a challenge, but from our look, it looks pretty clear. You could see the dark glove of Clement contrasted by the white pants of Duran. And like you said, he tagged him kind of on that hamstring just before the left hand of Duran went into the bag.
Yeah, I actually thought Duran got a great jump, but Brian Serven made a great throw. We're seeing an incredibly slow motion replay here, and it's very clear that he's out. I would be surprised if they don't overturn this call.
Brian O'Nora, the umpire at second, and Chris Conroy, the crew chief and home plate umpire, are conferencing right now, waiting on the ruling from New York.
This would be a huge call for Bowden Francis' pitch count, which sits at 33 right now.
After review, the call in the field's overturned. Runner is out. Toronto will keep his challenge.
That is massive for the Blue Jays. For only the 5th time this year in 37 stolen base attempts, Jarren Duran is thrown out. Brian Serven gets him at second, and now that leadoff error erased.
I tell you what, it was a great throw, yes, for sure. But the way Ernie Clement caught that baseball and quickly tagged Duran on the lower half, that was pretty incredible.
And now Francis comes right back with a strike to Mickey Gasper, and the count's 2-1. One out, bottom of the 4th, base is empty now. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a fly ball, right center field. It's Dalton Varsho's ball. He walks forward and makes the catch, 2 down.
Mickey Gasper still searching for that first major league hit. Pretty good pitch from Bowden Francis, an elevated heater right there, 92 miles an hour. Again, not overpowering, but you have to have that off-speed stuff in the back of your head, and it kind of sneaks up on you.
Former Cardinal Tyler O'Neill coming up, and we promised you the St. Louis Bar and Grill Out of Town scoreboard. We'll try to get that to you in just a second. First, though, Francis into the wide, and with 2 outs, the pitch. Outside, ball 1. Out of Town scoreboard brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Devilishly good since Toronto first raised the trophy in '92. Rib Sanity is on now until September 8th. All you can eat ribs for just $27.99. Visit stlouiswings.com for more details. Always devilishly good. 1-0 is hit by O'Neill down the left field line, foul. 1-1. A lot of finals already today in baseball. Cincinnati defeats Oakland 10-9. The Mets beat the Diamondbacks 3-2. The Marlins defeat the Rockies 12-8. All of our out-of-town scores brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. 1-0 Blue Jays in the fourth, the 1-1. O'Neill rips and misses, strike two. Other finals, St. Louis beats San Diego 4-1. Milwaukee beats San Francisco 6-0. The Rangers over the White Sox 2-1, and the Angels over the Tigers 3-0. 1-2 pitch. Spiked it, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
A lot of afternoon games today on getaway day.
Yeah, the Blue Jays are in a rare spot with a night game. A couple games either going on now or set to go in a little bit. Some of them, though, are starts of new series. Thursday to Sunday series. 2-2. Fastball, got him looking, strike 3. Francis faces the minimum again after the error to start the inning. Brian Serven and Ernie Clement link up to throw out Jarren Duran. Still no hits for the Red Sox, and it's 1-0 Blue Jays going to the 5th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
It's the dawning of a new era in college football. And as schools fight to earn a spot in the 12-team college football playoff, you'll hear all the biggest games on SiriusXM and the SiriusXM app.
That was one of the craziest games I've seen.
Get ready for game day on College Sports Radio, Channel 84, with our roster of experts, including Danny Cannell, Jacob Hester, and Rick Neuheisel.
This is what college football fans have been clamoring for.
To find your game, go to SiriusXM.com/college football schedule or search for your school on the SiriusXM app.
It's Tour Championship week on PGA Tour Radio.
Up in the air, lands soft. It does. Skates up by the cup. Good go, and it did. Scotty Scheffler with the hole-out eagle.
The season-long race for the FedEx Cup is down to the 30 best players.
He goes in for an eagle. One hop in for another eagle for Xander Schauffele. Incredible.
Hear play-by-play coverage and post-round analysis all week long on SiriusXM 92. Plus, you can check out all of our great golf content anytime with the SiriusXM app.
This is Bob Kendrick, president of the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum and host of the award-winning podcast, Black Diamonds. This week, we discuss the career of one of the greatest, if not the greatest, power hitter of all time, the legendary Josh Gibson.
To receive the award with Josh Gibson's name on it, because all everybody ever talked about was Babe Ruth. It just hit different.
Listen to Black Diamonds right now on the all-new SiriusXM app or wherever you get your podcasts.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
And the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The 5th inning is brought to you by Desjardins Financial Group. Desjardins awarded another 150 grants worth $20,000 each to entrepreneurs across Canada. See how Desjardins cheered on small biz at goodsparkgrants.ca. Leo Jimenez takes outside ball 1. We're underway in the 5th. Pitch from Cutter Crawford. Down and away, ball 2. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue. Roger Lajoie, our host. Nick Blackmore, our producer. And Tom Young, our technical director. The 2-0. Swing and a pop-up. Playable for Tristan Casas, right side foul. He leans forward and makes a catch. And there's one out.
And if you were wondering about the pitch count of Bowden Francis through 4 innings, it's at 40.
Wow.
And he's thrown 28 strikes. That's a pretty good ratio.
It absolutely is. That's 70% on the dot. Cutter Crawford has been solid so far. Blue Jays only up 1-0, and Brian Serven coming up. It was really Serven's bloop double that has caused the only blemish for Crawford. His pitch. Serven takes it, strike 1.
This is kind of like the matchup we had last night. Brian Bayo outpitched Chris Bassett, but Chris Bassett also pitched very well.
That game went 1-0 all the way until the 8th inning. 0-1. Swing and a liner right side, and that's going to get down fair and bounce out for an automatic double. Brian Serven thought it was going foul, didn't even leave the box for a second, and he's going to have his second double of the game and 3rd of the season.
Well, he is absolutely raking today. 1 legit double and then 1 pop-up double to center field. He'll take it, though.
They all count the same.
One double he thought was foul and another pop-up double.
But he snuck that just inside the line. It's a very low wall near Pesky's pole. So it's a souvenir for a young fan and a double for Servin, and now the top of the order for the Blue Jays. First pitch to George Springer misses low, 1-0. Twice today, Springer has grounded out to third base in the first and the third inning. From the stretch, Crawford looks at second and pitches. Springer goes around reluctantly on a cutter down and away, 1-1. Two taps of the plate for the right-handed hitter. Looking out toward Cutter Crawford, who's thrown over 60 pitches now with one out in the fifth. 1-1. Outside and low, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Bowden Francis is making him look like that pitch count is elevated, but it's really not. 63 pitches and with 1 out in the fifth inning really isn't that elevated of a pitch count.
I mean, you go 80 pitches through 5. That's pretty good. 2-1. Called strike, just sneaks a cutter in the upper and inner part of the zone. Don't think he meant to, but it freezes Springer, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, George Springer kind of rolled his eyes, didn't like that call, but from our point of view, that was definitely a strike, a little spinning cutter.
Two. Down and away, ball 3. He has not given Springer that four-seam fastball. Everything is moving away from the righty. Everything is spinning. Serving on second, 1 out. The 3-2. Cutter hit in the air down the right field line. It's going to hang up for Wilyer Abreu, who makes the catch and tosses it back in quickly to keep Servin at second, 2 down.
Yeah, you could tell that Cutter Crawford either knew that George Springer had success in the past against him, and also that's a big run out at second base, especially with the way Bowden Francis is pitching. You don't want to fall behind 2-0.
Still 1-0 Blue Jays, out hitting the Red Sox 4-0. Top of the fifth inning. Danny Jansen goes out to the mound. Cedon Rafaela, the shortstop's going to join him as well as they talk to Cutter Crawford. Feels like more these days infielders are going and being involved in these mound visits that pitching coaches aren't in than before.
Sometimes it's because they want to know what pitches you're going to throw, how you're going to attack somebody. Maybe the shift they'll be couple steps one way or the other, or they're just bored.
I do remember not that long ago, Troy Tulowitzki often would do that with the Blue Jays, come into the meetings and then set up accordingly in his spot. Although I feel like you maybe give away what kinds of pitches you're going to throw to the hitter. Dalton Varsho in the box now, runner on second, and the pitch. Inside, ball 1.
I tend to think that the guy in the box isn't looking at the shortstop when the pitcher is in his motion. I don't know. I can only imagine.
1-0. High, 2-0. Although, base runners relaying signs from second base, they at least sometimes are peeking in the vicinity. But you're right, it's probably not enough to really read into or get much information from. 2-0 pitch to Varsho. High, ball 3. Crawford walked Varsho on 4 pitches in the first, but got him to ground out on a pitch inside in the third. 3-0. Swing and a foul back, top of the zone fastball hit into the screen, 3-1.
I like that. I like that Dalton Varsho had a green light there. He's been swinging the bat well. John Schneider's nodding his head. He liked that swing as well. He got the four-seam fastball, just fouled it right back.
And Crawford's going to challenge. It's Guerrero on deck. He doesn't want to walk Varsho. 3-1. Swing and a line drive, right field line, hooking toward Pesky's pull. But that ball is foul. Absolutely tagged by Varsho. He was sitting on that cutter that was left a little more over the plate than some of the other ones. But it'll be strike 2.
Yeah, that was a nice swing. I actually thought that was going to be fair when it left the bat, but it had a little bit of a curve to it.
Now the 3-2. Swing and a line drive, deep center field, going back to Rand, makes the catch in front of the track and ends the inning. No runs on a hit, no errors, one left for the Blue Jays. Middle of the fifth, 1-0 Toronto. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
It's Tour Championship Week on PGA Tour Radio.
Up in the air, lands soft. It does. Skates up by the cup. Good no, and it did. Scotty Scheffler with the hole-out eagle.
The season-long race for the FedEx Cup is down to the 30 best players.
He goes in for an eagle. One hop in for another eagle for Xander Schauffele. Incredible.
Hear play-by-play coverage and post-round analysis all week long on SiriusXM 92. Plus, you can check out all of our great golf content anytime with the SiriusXM app.
The 2024 season is approaching.
Focus on the football, fellas. Focus, focus.
And SiriusXM NFL Radio brings you down to the field for an all-access pass to your favorite team.
You do your best to put yourself in position to get the result you want.
From the regular season through Super Bowl 59, hear every NFL game all season long on SiriusXM.
Touchdown!
And if you missed any of NFL Radio's training camp tour, you can get it right now on the all-new SiriusXM app.
You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball. You love yelling at your buddies about baseball because they love baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, and much, much, much more. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on SiriusXM
Radio Network.
Bottom of the fifth inning in Boston, the Blue Jays holding on to a 1-0 lead. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue, and Bowden Francis seems to be doing it again. Fifth inning starts, and Francis misses down and away to Tristan Casas, 1-0. Francis is still facing the minimum here as we start the fifth inning. 12 up and kind of 12 down. 1-0. Swing and a high fly ball. Right field. Hooking, but wide of Pesky's pull. It's a deep foul ball to make it 1-1.
Well, one of the most impressive things about this start so far is he hasn't walked anybody yet. In his last start, when he took a no-hitter into that ninth inning, he had walked 3 guys.
Today, the only blemish, per se, is an error committed by Leo Jimenez at second. Jarren Duran did smoke a ball that Jimenez dove to stop, but he threw it away. But the runner was caught stealing, so Francis still hasn't faced more than the 12 that he's had to, and now a swing and a miss by Casas makes it 1-2.
Well, I can guarantee that Leo is going to look at that highlight. Even if he hasn't already, he's going to think, I should have made that play.
1-2. Splitter, bounced foul behind the plate. Tipped off of Brian Serven, who's still looking for it, but it's not in play. It's 1-2. A lot more balls in the air today than his last start for Francis. A lot of strikeouts in his last start, a career high 12. 1-2. Check swing on a splitter in the dirt, appeal to third, and he did go around. Strike 3. Brian Serven applies the tag. Casas talking to the third base umpire, Brendan Miller, from the plate. Really didn't like the call. And for Francis, it'll be a third strikeout.
Yeah, Casas didn't like that call, but I don't know. It was 50-50 on that one, but that was Bowden Francis's best split finger of the day. Had a ton of downward action. We've seen a lot of floating, almost changeup-like pitches, but that one right there was the true split finger.
First pitch to Wilyer Abreu, strike 1. On the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, 2 games in action right now alongside the Blue Jays. Atlanta up 4-0 over Philly in the 6th, and no score, Kansas City, Houston in the 1st. 0-1. Called strike 0-2. All of our out-of-town scores brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. In Boston, it's Blue Jays 1, Red Sox 0. 1 out, bases empty, bottom of the 5th. The 0-2. Splitter popped up near third. Going on to the left field grass. It's Addison Barger's ball. He makes the catch. 2 outs.
This injury report is brought to you by Bergmanis Pereira Personal Injury Lawyers. If life has thrown you a curveball and you're striking out with your insurance company, get ahead of the count and call Bergmanis Pereira Personal Injury Lawyers. You focus on getting better, and Bergmanis Pereira will take care of the rest. Visit bplawyers.ca.
Injury news for the Red Sox. David Hamilton hits the injured list today. And if you were with us yesterday, you may remember Hamilton bunting for a base hit in the 8th inning. He fractured his left index finger on that bunt. First pitch to Masataka Yoshida, lifted to center field, and Dalton Varsho makes the catch to end the inning. How about the minimum through 5 for Bowden Francis? Has not allowed a hit yet, and the Blue Jays take a 1-0 lead to the 6th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
The Blue Jays are inviting you to work from Dome. Put it in your calendar. 307 weekdays starts this season. You can work from Dome with friends or coworkers at Rogers Center. It's a game changer.
Hey everybody, thanks for hanging out with us tonight for this Toronto Blue Jays matchup. Are you an insider yet? Have you hit that subscribe button? Please join our awesome community of Toronto sports fans right here on Toronto Sports Insider, where we go live every single Toronto sports game. Blue Jays, we've got Leaf season coming up, Argos games, Raptors season in the fall. It's all here on Toronto Sports Insider. Thanks for joining our team, and we'll see you guys back in the chat.
You can handle.
This is the most amazing season we've ever had.
America's Got Talent is doubling down on excitement.
Wow. Incredible. I'm blown away.
Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Better than any other season.
On the hunt for this season's winner.
You didn't know what was going to happen next.
America's Got Talent. All new Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 8/7 Central on City TV. Or stream it on City TV Plus.
Hey, this is Kevin Gosman. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The 6th inning is brought to you by Desjardins Financial Group. Desjardins is a big fan of small biz. That's why they awarded another $3 million to small business owners across the country. See how Desjardins cheered on small biz this year at goodsparkgrants.ca. Still 1-0 Blue Jays. We're in the 6th inning at Fenway Park. Final game Toronto plays here in this series. And Cutter Crawford just finishing up his warm-up pitches before getting ready to go against the middle of the Blue Jay order. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. will lead off for Toronto. Spencer Horwitz and Addison Barger, a pair of lefties behind him.
And I think Danny Jansen was having some trouble with his face mask. He was playing around with the strap a little bit, and he finally gets out to the field.
Jansen wears the 2-piece mask with the harder helmet turned backwards and then the strapped mask going over top of it. He's all good to go now, catching for a 3rd time out of the 5 games in this series, and he crouches down as Vladimir Guerrero Jr. steps in. Vlad is 2 for 2 today, a single and an RBI double. That's the difference in the game. The pitch. Swing and a pop-up. Foul first base side. Casas charging in. Jansen running toward the netting. Reaches up and just makes the catch. Almost looked like it popped out of his glove for a sec, and he re-secured it. Tough play for the catcher to get Guerrero 1 down.
Yeah, a little bit of a snow cone action there. Danny Jansen secures that ball. The mask comes off. The helmet comes off as he leans against that netting behind home plate. What a catch for out number 1.
Big out for Crawford, who, as we said last inning, has been great in this game. Francis has just been better so far. 1-0 Blue Jays. Now the pitch to Spencer Horwitz. Strike 1. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman. To my left is Chris LaRue. A 1. Swing and another pop-up. This one in fair territory near the shortstop Rafaela. Nick Sogard, the third baseman, calls for it, makes the catch. 2 outs.
These guys are going toe-to-toe. Cutter Crawford and Bowden Francis, just good pitch after good pitch. Another good cutter there from Cutter Crawford.
They're both looking like they want to try and finish this game. Crawford's at 75 pitches, 2 outs in the top of the 6th inning. He deals now to Addison Barger. Strike one.
They also both look like they have dinner plans.
One's got a flight, although he gets dinner on there. But, yeah, everyone looks like they have dinner plans. Early swings right now and a lot of quick outs. So one pitch is ripped to right field by Barger. That's going to one-hop the wall. It's another base hit for Barger, an automatic double, and he's on second base with 2 outs.
And Ernie Clement ripped that pitch into right field down the line for a ground rule double. A 4-seam fastball that was on the inner third of the plate. You could see Danny Jansen wanted that pitch up, but again, Addison Barger with a great swing and an even better result.
11th double on the season now for Barger. Hits in 7 straight games. John Schneider raved about it before today's game. The changes he's made, the cutting down of the swing. Ernie Clement now up, chops the first one foul, 0-1.
Well, that's the biggest thing. I mean, when he first came up, we talked about it a lot. He was wild. Everything was wild. Eventually, you have to cut that swing down. I talked with Guillermo Martinez. I talked with Matt Haig. That's what they were working on. Cut that swing down. Stop being so wild.
Less moving parts, Schneider said today. Now Clement rips the 0-1 pitch down the left field line. That's going to one-hop into the monster. Barger around third, comes home. It's an RBI double for Clement, and the Blue Jays take a 2-0 lead.
That is a huge run, a big hit, another big hit from Ernie Clement. It seems like he comes up with a big hit at least once a series. Alex Cora not happy in that Red Sox dugout, but the young guns getting it done. Ernie Clement, Addison Barger, and the Blue Jays lead 2-0 now.
2 2-out doubles for the Blue Jays, back-to-back. Not a terrible pitch by Cutter Crawford either. Probably wanted it a little higher, but it was near the top of the zone. Clement got inside of it for the line drive, and now Joey Loperfido with a swing and a miss. Strike one.
Well, ironically, he's thrown a ton of off-speed pitches today, and he's had a lot of success throwing those off-speed pitches, and he's got burned on 2 4-seam fastballs in this inning.
Crawford looks at second, the 0-1. Swing and a miss by Loperfido at a cutter, 0-2. Loperfido has struck out and hit a fly ball to left field today. 0-2. Check swing. Fastball was outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Loperfido bouncing that front right foot, bat high above his left shoulder. 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Goes around on a curveball in the dirt, and that will end the top of the 6th inning. Blue Jays, though, rally for a run with 2 outs. A pair of 2-out doubles by Addison Barger and Ernie Clement makes it 2-0 Toronto, middle of the 6th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The same smooth you get from Yacht Rock with a lot more groove.
Turn your love around.
Yacht Soul.
Silky grooves and refined rhythms of the late 70s and early 80s. From Luther,
I just don't wanna stop
Lionel,
all night long.
Bobby Caldwell,
What you won't do.
and more.
Yacht Soul. Year-round in the Sirius XM app.
And docked for a limited time at Channel 105 Almost Radios.
Wake up! Wake up, everybody! This is Steve Phillips from the leadoff spot on MLB Network Radio. Join me and former Major League Baseball players Eduardo Perez and Xavier Scruggs as we react to all the latest news and scores across baseball and have plenty of fun along the way.
Steve, you were so right about that.
I don't know if anybody else thinks we're funny, but I think we're funny.
Why are you putting us or we into this?
The leadoff spot, weekdays at 7 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
Blue Jays fans, your manager, John Schneider, joins MLB Network Radio every other Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern.
A lot of these young guys are comfortable playing with one another from the minor leagues and understanding that
they're in the big leagues now, and expectations are a little bit different. So it has been cool to see that kind of shift in energy.
Managers at the mic on MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM 89 and the Sirius XM app.
In season or out of season, the number one place for college sports is Sirius XM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
A Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the sixth inning in Boston, Danny Jansen leads off for the Red Sox against the Blue Jays. Bowden Francis' pitch freezes Jansen, strike one. Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Blue Jays up 2-0 on the Red Sox. Francis delivers his 51st pitch, and it is hit in the air out to left field. Lo Perfido ranging back near the corner on the track, makes the catch, and that's the first out of the bottom of the sixth.
Well, I don't know about you, but I held my breath just a little bit. Joey Lo Perfido caught that high fly ball from Danny Jansen about 5 or 10 feet in front of that big green monster out there in left field.
There have been some close calls, some big plays, but no hits allowed for Bowden Francis right now through 5 1/3. His pitch to Nick Sogard is low ball one. Sogard called up today, batting .222 now in 13 major league games. 1-0 inside. Switch hitter also had his stint up with the Red Sox from August 2nd to August 16th, which ended when Tyler O'Neill was activated from the injured list, but now back with David Hamilton placed on the injured list.
A lot of moving parts.
Oh, yeah. A lot of injuries for the Red Sox this year. 2-0. Foul back into the netting, 2-1. If you're looking at Red Sox injuries, you can go from Lucas Giolito to Liam Hendricks to Tristan Casas to Tyler O'Neill and many others. Wilyer Abreu. 2-1. Swing and a line drive left field. Lo Perfido coming in, has to play it on a bounce. And that's the first hit of the day for the Red Sox. Nick Sogard slices one out to left, and he's on first with one out.
Well, that's tough luck for Bowden Francis. A good pitch, a fastball in on the hands. And it was just a little blooper out in front of Joey Lo Perfido out in left field.
So Francis works from the stretch for only the second time today. He was in the stretch in the fourth when Jarren Duran reached on an error, but 2 pitches later, Brian Serven threw Duran out. So he'll just throw his third pitch of the day from the stretch now to Cedon Rafaela with one out. Francis set, Sogard leads off first, and the pitch. Check swing, slider outside, and appeal down to first. He did not go, 1-0. In a sec, we'll go to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, but first, the 1-0 to Cedon Rafaela, the number 9 hitter. Pitch on the way. Foul back, and it's 1-1. We mentioned the finals already and the games in progress. One game coming up later tonight. It's the finale of Orioles-Dodgers. Cade Povich and Bobby Miller, 2 young starters facing off. Povich for Baltimore, Miller for Los Angeles. Both trying to get on the right track in this season.
That Dodgers team is having a ton of fun this year.
They are.
They're fun to watch.
1-1. Down and away, 2-1. Although you could put that on repeat pretty much for the last 11 seasons now. Maybe more than ever this year with Shohei in the mix, but they are just a horse despite only the 1 World Series. 2-1 count to Rafaela. 1 out, runner on first. And the pitch. Swing and a foul ball right side. Out of play, 2-2.
And it was the Shohei Ohtani bobblehead giveaway last night with his dog.
Well, I was going to say, I think it was his dog's bobblehead. I caught the name, but it's kind of escaping me right now.
Detour? No.
It starts with a D.
Yeah. Something like that.
2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Elevates the fastball and gets Rafaela. and there are 2 down.
That's a pretty good pitch right there. 4-seam fastball just above the strike zone. Rafaela, again, clearly has that split finger, that off-speed pitch in the back of his mind. A wild swing at that 4-seamer for strike 3.
So a nice bounce back for Francis after the single. First hit of the day allowed by Bowden. And now he faces Jaron Duran with a runner on and 2 outs. 2-0, bottom of the 6th. Francis's 61st pitch of the game is popped up near short. Clement making the call, and that will do it for the inning as Ernie brings it in. Another scoreless frame for Francis. He does give up his first hit of the day, but still no runs for Boston. It's 2-0 Toronto going to the 7th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face, come and meet Ace and run base to base. Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You can bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Sundays are for Junior Jays, and with all kinds of cool new games and activities in the exciting outfield district areas, there's no end to the family fun you'll have.
If you're feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
We're 2 men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think 2 men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're 2 men and a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Springer started right, coming in, leaps and makes the catch full stretch.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Seventh inning in Boston, still Cutter Crawford for the Red Sox. Blue Jays up 2-0. Thank you for sticking with us. Leo Jimenez leading off the inning, takes strike 1. And Crawford pitching very well, about to throw his 85th of the day. Righty nods. And now steps to the left. Kicks and delivers. Swing and a foul back, 0-2. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Cutter Crawford in his 7th inning, but the bullpen is up right now for the Red Sox. Righty Greg Weissert is throwing. And 44-year-old lefty Rich Hill is throwing as well. Leo Jimenez now takes in the dirt, 1-2. If Hill pitches, it would be his season debut in 2024.
I was watching some film of his from AAA this year, and he's still got the big curveball. The fastball really isn't there anymore, 86, 87 miles an hour, but
1-2 pitch hit foul into the backstop, still 1-2.
It's just so impressive at 44 years old that he feels good enough to be able to pitch in the major leagues regardless of the velocity.
Another 1-2. Swing and another foul ball. Frankly, it's very impressive for him to get out to AAA at 44 years old. Most guys wouldn't be anywhere close to pro baseball at 44 years old, and yet he's probably going to make an appearance either here tonight or soon and lock another season into his storied career. 1-2 pitch is again spoiled foul by Jimenez, who's putting up a fight here to start the 7th.
I can't wait to see him pitch. I hope he pitches in this ballgame.
Pocket of lefties isn't coming up for a little bit, but Hill was a starter. He's faced guys from both sides a lot. 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Finally, Crawford gets him. He goes to the splitter to strike out Jimenez. 1 out.
Yeah, he might want to throw that thing a little bit more. That was a pretty good split finger. You can see the good arm action, the good release point. Leo Jimenez swings right over the top of it.
It doesn't throw the splitter much, less than 10% of the time, but uses it there for his third strikeout of the day. Here's Brian Servant, 2 for 2 with a pair of doubles. First pitch is hit in the air, left center field. Duran on the run, stops up, makes the catch, and there are 2 outs. Let's go to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Big day in college football. A lot of top 25 teams opening their season. NC State right now in a bit of a battle with West Carolina. The Wolfpack are number 24 in the country. West Carolina unranked, and it's 14-14 midway through the second quarter. Number 22 Kansas up 7-0 on Lindenwood after a quarter. Number 11 Missouri pounding Murray State 28-0 in the first quarter. George Springer up, fouls it back, it's 0-1.
It's probably a fun game to go to, though. North Carolina State and Western Carolina, 2 North Carolina teams.
You can imagine a lot of guys in high school might have faced off against each other in Carolina that are now playing against each other in college. All of our out-of-town scores, by the way, brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. 0-1 to Springer. Outside, 1-1. George Springer out of the University of Connecticut. Much more of a basketball school than football school. 1-1 pitch outside, 2-1.
Also a lot more snow.
A lot more snow. Yeah. Than North Carolina?
Yeah.
Certainly. The wind from Crawford in the 2-1. Outside ball 3. Cutter Crawford approaching 100 pitches here. Has fallen behind Springer. George trying to get aboard for the first time in the game. 2 groundouts and a flyout. The 3-1. Check swing, pitch outside, appeal down to first, no swing, and Springer will take a walk.
I remember when I was doing my college visits when I was in high school, I was still a catcher, so I wasn't really heavily recruited. Drexel University, they don't even have a baseball program anymore, but they're in Philadelphia. And I went to the visit, and they were playing on this, it wasn't a great field, but their players were shoveling the field when I went for my visit, and I was like, I don't want to go here.
They got to kind of work the schedule a different way. I feel like that's just bad advertising. Mound meeting right now after the walk from Crawford. Alex Cora walking out to the mound, and that's going to spell the end of the day for the Red Sox starter. Rich Hill will enter the game for his 2024 debut when we come back. 2-0 Blue Jays, runner on first, 2 outs, top of the 7th, and Dalton Varsho about to hit. Let's go to today's host. Here's Roger Lajoie.
And Ben Chris, thanks very much. Let's go now to the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. It's Getaway Thursday in the majors, and it shows on the out-of-town scoreboard 7 games already final. Wild one in Cincinnati. TJ Friedels had a 2-run single in the bottom of the 9th to key a 3-run bottom of the 9th as the Reds beat Oakland 10-9. But Lawrence Butler of the A's, 3 home runs in that ball game with 4 RBI in a losing cause for Oakland. 10-9. Cincinnati wins that one. Lots of other big home run numbers in the majors today. The Mets beat Arizona 3-2. Pete Alonso with his 29th. Francisco Lindor with his 28th in that one. Randall Grichuk had his 5th in a losing cause for Arizona. Derek Hill had a pair of homers as Miami beat Colorado 12-8. Brendan Rodgers also with a pair of homers in a losing cause for Colorado in that one. Other finals from earlier today, St. Louis beat San Diego 4-1. Mason Wynn with his 12th homer of the year. Sonny Gray picking up the win there for the Cardinals. Milwaukee stays hot. They blank San Francisco 6-0, holding them to just 2 hits in the game. Aaron Savali with the win there. Garrett Mitchell with a homer, his 3rd. Texas beat Chicago 2-1. The White Sox have lost 104 games and counting. Nathan Eovaldi, the winning pitcher there, 1 hitter over 7 shutout innings in that one. Corey Seager with a homer, his 20th for Texas. Angels beat Detroit 3-0 as Zach Neto had a 2-run homer in that one for the Angels. Games in progress. Atlanta over Philadelphia 4-3 in the 6th. KC and Houston scoreless in the 2nd. Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Here's Ben Shulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you, Raj. Rich Hill is in the game for the Red Sox. 44-year-old native of Boston, Massachusetts, who grew up in Milton, Massachusetts. Pitches now for the 4th stint as a Red Sox in his career. And his first pitch comes in sidearm and misses to the right, outside to Dalton Varsho, 1-0. 2-0 Blue Jays, runner on first, 2 down. Hill from the third base side pitches home, and it's a swing and a miss. A changeup at the top of the zone makes it 1-1. Last year when Hill split the season between the Pirates and the Padres, he was throwing his curveball the most, fastball second. Four-seamer averaged 88. 1-1 pitch, slow curve, cut on and missed, 1-2.
And he's still really effective against left-handers. You can see how awkward that swing was on that really slow breaking ball from Rich Hill. I mean, that's the difference maker. If he has that breaking ball, he's still an effective big leaguer.
His 1-2. Misses up top, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You can also hear how pumped up the crowd is.
Understandably so. I mean, not only is this now Hill's 20th Major League season, but he was a Red Sox from 10 to 12, in 15, and in 22. They've seen a lot of Rich Hill. 2-2. Outside, and the runner taken off, and Springer will dive in head first for his 100th career stolen base. Pitch was outside, making it a full count, and George Springer swipes his 14th of the season and 100th career. So Springer on second, 2 outs, in the 3-2 to Varsho. Swing and a pop-up behind the plate. Jansen looking back. That one's out of play.
That fastball was 83 miles an hour, and it actually got in on the hands of Dalton Varsho. He was thinking obviously something slow, probably a breaking ball at 69 miles an hour, and then 83 snuck up on him.
Six pitches from Hill to Varsho so far. A full count with Springer on second. 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Gets him on the breaking ball. Varsho strikes out. Welcome back to the majors, Rich Hill. Blue Jays do not score on no hits. They leave one on, and they lead 2-0 going to the 7th inning stretch. You're listening to Blue Jays baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikeys accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
I am by your side. Got a heart so big, on this you can rely. No mountains too tall for the strong boots to climb. I am by your side.
That was Desjardins Insurance, playing insurance with a heart so big it shows. Tune in for your auto and home coverage at desjardins.com/heart.
Hey, this is Bo Bichette. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Home half of the 7th inning in Boston, and the Blue Jays still holding on to a 2-0 lead. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Bowden Francis still pitching very well. Steps back on the rubber to start the bottom of the 7th. His pitch to Mickey Gasper is the slow curveball for called strike 1. 2-3-4 in the Boston order. Gasper, O'Neill, Casas this inning. 0-1. Splitter, called strike, 0-2.
Bowden Francis just threw his 63rd pitch of the ball game. We are in the bottom of the 7th inning.
It's unbelievable. 0-2. Swing and a ground ball hit right to the third baseman Barger, slings it over to first, and that's the first out of the bottom of the 7th.
They had Gasper shifted perfectly. Addison Barger, the third baseman, was playing probably about where the shortstop would normally play. That ball was hit right to him. Made the easy play. Nice throw across the diamond.
So Gasper's wait for a first major league hit continues. Now he's 0 for 11. Here comes Tyler O'Neill. Francis struck out O'Neill last time he faced him on a well-placed four-seamer. Also got him to pop up to short in the first. The pitch. Strike one with a slider.
Tyler O'Neill tilting his head a little bit. Didn't like that call. Might have caught the corner of that strike zone.
O'Neill might have had a point. 0-1. Outside 1-1.
I think I'm easier on umpires than you are.
Which is funny because you were the pitcher. I would figure that you would be.
I like a big zone.
Yeah. I mean, a big zone is good for baseball. Yeah. Gets guys swinging. 1-1. Called strike 1 and 2.
He didn't like that call either. Tilted his head again. I'm sure he had a couple of words for the home plate umpire, but that one right there was a strike for sure.
Yeah, Chris Conroy's all over that splitter. Francis ahead. His 1-2 to O'Neill. Up and in 2-2. O'Neill doesn't seem like a guy that would want to talk to or show up umpires very much. I mean, you played with him. What kind of guy was he like?
He's really quiet, but he's also really intense.
2-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Fastball at 89, but it was well placed above the zone, and there are 2 outs.
So he's quiet, intense, but overall he's a great human being, and he'll look good in the Blue Jays uniform.
We'll have to wait and see about that. 2 outs, though, and here comes Tristan Casas. Speaking of talking to umps, Casas has had a frustrating day at the plate. He has disagreed with the umps a couple times, not just the home plate ump, and he struck out twice. Pitch from Francis, hit in the air, deep left field. Loperfido back at the monster, leaps and makes the catch, banging his head into the hand-operated scoreboard. And he looks a little bit worse for wear. Never fell down, but there's lots of corners and crevices in that wall. And I think one of those corners caught Loperfido in the back of the head. He caught the baseball, and good to see him getting into a jog back to the dugout. We'll see how he is going forward, but a very nice play from the rookie outfielder to end the 7th inning. Bowden Francis has faced 1 above the minimum through 7, and the Blue Jays are up 2-0 going to the 8th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Embrace the power. That is bold. And speed of the NTT IndyCar Series on SiriusXM.
Joseph, you got it. Wins the Indy 500.
It's a weekend doubleheader in Milwaukee. Saturday night at 6 Eastern and Sunday afternoon at 2:30 Eastern.
Nice job. Nice job.
From the green to the checkers.
Flies under the twin checkers.
Hear every thrilling lap live on IndyCar Nation Channel 218, NBC Sports Audio Channel 85.
Alex Palou. Thank you so much.
And on the all-new SiriusXM app. Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your SiriusXM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on SiriusXM Channel 89, or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. SiriusXM Sports. We're more than just a game.
Hello, Blue Jay fans. I'm Craig Ballard, host of your daily Locked On Blue Jays podcast. Locked On Blue Jays is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Locked On Blue Jays brings you the latest Blue Jays news and analysis and breaks down all of the action. Locked On Blue Jays is everything a Blue Jays fan could want, all in a 30-minute daily podcast. Download Locked On Blue Jays right now on the SXM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or wherever you get your podcasts. Search Locked On Blue Jays.
Fantasy football players, learn winning strategies right now on Fantasy Sports Radio to help you draft a winning team on Channel 87 and on the SiriusXM app.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. leading off the top of the 8th inning takes strike 1 from Rich Hill. This is quite the matchup to watch. Hill winds and delivers the 0-1. And it's up top, outside, a ball and a strike here in this at-bat. 44-year-old Hill pitching now in his 20th Major League season. 1-1, bounces it, 2-1. And often we see Vlad against a late inning reliever. This is power versus power. That is not the case here with Rich Hill against Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
No, we saw Rich Hill throw an 83-mile-an-hour fastball in the last inning, but he's still got the big breaking ball. I don't know if I like this matchup.
2-1. Swing and a ground ball, hit to third, picked up there by Sogard. Throw over to first in time. 1 out. So Guerrero is set down here to start the top of the 8th inning. Rich Hill, by the way, pitching long enough, and this isn't that long ago, but he has given up a home run to Vladimir Guerrero Sr. in his career, and now he's retired Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Had faced him before. And delivers a first pitch strike here to Spencer Horwitz, 0-1. Now the 0-1 pitch outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Now that he's got a couple outs, in 2024, you can see a little bit of swag coming from Rich Hill. He's got a bigger leg lift.
Horwitz hits the 1-1 on a bounce to second, picked up by Gasper. Throw over to first, 2 down. Struck out Varsho to end the 7th. Got Guerrero and Horwitz on ground balls. Rich Hill is looking right at home on the mound at Fenway Park, and only has Addison Barger in his way now if he wants a 1-2-3 inning. Barger having a nice day, 1 for 3 with a double. Takes the first pitch outside, 1-0. The pitch. Outside, 2-0. You know what? Rich Hill does not need a pitch clock. He is just motoring along. Winds in the 2-0. Fastball on the inner third, strike 1.
Yeah, Rich Hill was not the problem pre-2022.
Hill on the rubber, gets into the wind. The 2-1. Down and away, ball 3. Hill spent the majority of this summer coaching his son's Little League team. Was actually in New York with the team when he was signed by the Red Sox and then reported to Worcester. 3-1. Called strike, full count.
You know what? That's about right. His story is so unique that him signing while coaching his son's Little League team is about right.
Oh, it's if he hadn't pitched 19 years earlier, it's something out of a movie. 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Rich Hill strikes out Barger to end a 1-2-3. 8th, pounds his glove and heads back to the dugout. Middle of the 8th inning, still 2-0 Blue Jays. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
So, you want to be a Looney Dogger, eh? Every Tuesday Blue Jays home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. Grab $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around Rogers Center. Plus, stop by the Schneider's Porch, your hot dog headquarters. The destination for a one-of-a-kind hot dog experience with excellent ballpark views. So, whether you're the relish ringleader or 7th-inning snacker, no Blue Jays game is complete without hot dogs. Don't miss out on this delicious deal. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
We're 2menandatruck.ca. We've got lots of men and lots of trucks, so get ready to be moved.
Think 2menandatruck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2menandatruck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2menandatruck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
I am by your side. Got a heart so big, on this you can rely. No mountains too tall for the strong boots to climb. I am by your side.
That was Desjardins Insurance, playing insurance with a heart so big it shows. Tune in for your auto and home coverage at Desjardins.com/heart.
This This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Marshall smashes the ball to right field. It's gone!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network. 2-0 Blue Jays over Red Sox. New pitcher for Toronto. After 7 scoreless innings from Bowden Francis, Genesis Cabrera is on his 57th appearance of the year. Lefty has a 3.18 earned run average. Will face a pair of left-handed hitters to start the inning, or will he? Willie Abreu pinch hit for. Substituting in is Rob Refsnyder. Left on right now. The first pitch is popped up. Foul. First base side. Serving gets rid of the mask, but he watches it go into the seats. 0-1.
Bowden Francis was incredible today again for the 4th straight start. He only threw 70 pitches in his 7 innings of work. Pretty incredible stuff.
And we talked about it going in. This was a tick up in difficulty, and it didn't matter to Francis. Gave up 1 hit. Now the 0-1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Francis is all smiles in that Blue Jays dugout. I mean, he deserves it, that's for sure.
What do you think about the move to take him out?
Blue Jays want to win this ball game, but they also know that he's had a heavy workload over the last little while.
1-1 fouled off, 1-2.
I think that's probably the main factor here. John Schneider, Pete Walker discussing, do we leave him in? He just threw 116 pitches in his last start. Let's give him a breather. Let's get our guys in, our back end bullpen guys in this ball game and win this ball game and get ourselves to Minnesota.
The 1-2. Check swing, pitch down and in, appeal to first, and he did go around. Strike 3. Refsnyder punched out on a back foot cutter by Genesis Cabrera. 1 out.
What do you think about him not being in this ball game right now?
It surprised me, but I think I can kind of see both sides of it. I think what you're saying, he's pitched a lot. They have their high leverage guys rested. They want to win the ball game. On the other hand, he has only thrown 70 pitches. He probably could go back out there, so I can see both arguments. Pitch now to Masataka Yoshida, strike 1.
And when you think about it, 70 pitches is absolutely absurd.
Yeah, it's crazy. 7 innings, it's absolutely nuts. Most of the best in baseball are averaging like 14 or 15 an inning, not 10. 0-1. Swing and a ground ball, right side, picked up by the second baseman Jimenez on the run. He throws over to first, 2 outs. One thing to mention that could be a little bit alarming, you don't want to speculate too much, but defensive substitution for the Blue Jays this inning. Joey Loperfido no longer in left. Davis Schneider is out there now. And if you weren't with us in the bottom of the 7th, Loperfido banged into the monster, making a catch to end the Francis outing. And it looked like he hit his head in some way. He kind of reached to the back of his neck or back of his head as he jogged off the field. 2 outs, Danny Jansen up. Genesis Cabrera's pitch home. Fastball in there at 96, 0-1.
Yeah, watching the replay, it didn't look like he hit any of the sharp edges that you see on that wall out there, but it definitely looked like he slammed the back of his head into that hard wall, but hopefully he's okay.
0-1. High and outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. And we've seen a couple examples over his short tenure from Loperfido of him putting his body on the line, making difficult athletic plays in the outfield at the risk of himself. 1-1. Jansen swings and misses at a cutter down and in, 1-2.
And again, dueling, let's go Blue Jays and let's go Red Sox. We've seen that a lot over the last little while.
I guess Danny Jansen represents it all when he's up at the plate. Batting now with 2 outs and the bases empty. 2-0 Blue Jays and the 1-2 from Cabrera. Hit on a line, right center field, and down for a base hit. Springer takes it on a hop. Not very hard hit, but found a good spot off the bat of Danny Jansen. And the tying run will come to the plate for the Red Sox.
Yeah, pretty good pitch from Cabrera. A slider that was down and in. Actually, that was a cutter down and in. Danny Jansen got eaten up off the handle, just dumps it into right center. It's a big hit for the Red Sox.
And it'll prompt another pinch hitter. They're going to lift the switch hitter, Nick Sogard, from the game and bring Romy Gonzalez in. And with that, Pete Walker goes out to the mound. Red Sox already pulled Rob Refsnyder off the bench this inning, pinch hitting for Wilyer Abreu. So now it's just Connor Wong and Rafael Devers remaining. Devers has been out the last couple games with soreness in his shoulders. And you would guess, I don't know for sure, but you would guess that he would have been used in one of these spots recently if he was healthy enough to be in those spots. Mound meeting over. Brian Serven back behind the plate. Romy Gonzalez will step up. Part-time player for the Red Sox, batting .271 in 65 games. 2-0 Blue Jays, 2 outs. Bottom of the 8th, Jansen on first. Cabrera's pitch. Low ball 1. Jansen hit was just the second for the Red Sox in this game. Nick Sogard, who ironically just got substituted out, had the other hit, the only one off Francis. 1-0. Ground ball over to third, picked up by Barger. He'll go the short way to second, and that will end the inning. Romy Gonzalez sawed off by a fastball from Yenesis Cabrera, and it's a scoreless bottom of the 8th for the lefty reliever. We go to the 9th with the Blue Jays leading 2-0. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Elevate your road trip with a channel made from steer wheel pounding, bridge belting, mile melting sing-alongs designed to bring the whole car together. Road Trip Radio. Now for a limited time on Channel 79 and year-round on Channel 301 on most radios and in the SiriusXM app.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on SiriusXM Channel 89 and every morning on the SiriusXM app.
This is John Paul Morosi. Coming up on the next episode of the SiriusXM podcast, The Road to Cooperstown, I sit down with Hall of Famer Trevor Hoffman.
All I wanted was an opportunity. I understood that there are high picks and there might be a little more of an opportunity for them. I'm getting to put on a uniform, give it everything you got to make sure they never take it away.
The Road to Cooperstown airs Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM 89, and the all-new SiriusXM app. New episodes drop every Tuesday wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, this is Alexa. Did you know you can listen to this game on devices with Amazon Alexa? Download the SiriusXM app, then tell me to play the Blue Jays on SiriusXM.
At Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. 2-0, top of the 9th at Fenway Park. Blue Jays up 2-0, trying to add to their lead. New pitcher for the Red Sox is Greg Weissert, the righty, making his 49th appearance. Earned run average just below 4. Weissert will face Ernie Clement, Joey Loperfido, Davis Schneider, not Loperfido, and Leo Jimenez in this inning. First pitch to Clement, called strike. Couple subs defensively for the Red Sox after pinch hitting for 2 of their batters in the bottom of the 8th. 0-1. Outside, 1-1. Wilyer Abreu was substituted out for the pinch hitter Rob Refsnyder in the 8th. Refsnyder takes over in right field in his spot. Same with Romy Gonzalez, who came in for Nick Sogard. Gonzalez at third now. 1-1 pitch in the dirt, 2-1. Clement with an RBI double. That's why the Blue Jays are up 2-0. He hit it with 2 outs and Barger on second in the 6th. The 2-1. Called strike, 2-2. Weissert leaning forward, dangling his right arm. Now tucks it into his glove. 2-2. Swing and a line drive right field, base hit. Ernie Clement reaching way off the plate to make contact with that pitch. I think Weissert would throw that same pitch again, but Clement somehow covers it for a single.
Yeah, that's such a good piece of hitting. Not trying to do too much with that pitch. A really good sweeper. Actually off the plate, probably about 2 balls, and Ernie Clement just goes with it. A lot of guys will try to swing at that and swing at miss, maybe roll over to shortstop, but Ernie Clement finds himself at first base with a single.
Now Davis Schneider up, nobody out. First at bat of the day for Schneider, and the first pitch, runner takes off, pitch inside a ball, throw down to second, Clement is safe.
He's a ball player, isn't he?
He absolutely is. 10th stolen base of the season now for Clement. Ties him with Dalton Varsho for the second most on the team. Throw from Danny Jansen was on line, but it was late. Good jump from Clement, who went feet first into second base. Now the 1-0 pitch coming to Davis Schneider. Outside, ball 2.
Ernie Clement is a big, I'll make the call myself. Doesn't really wait for the umpire to make the call. As he was sliding into second base, you could see both those arms going out. I'm safe.
He'll do that on his check swings. He does it a couple different places. 2-0. Swing and a miss, 2-1. Schneider looks down to third base for signs from Carlos Fablis. Fablis, back at his former ballpark, was a longtime third base coach for the Red Sox. 2-1. Bounced foul left side, 2-2. With 2 strikes now, Schneider trying to move Clement over to third. Blue Jays will take any insurance run, add-on run that they can get right now, up 2-0 in the top of the 9th. Pitch home. Outside, full count. Chad Green is warming up for the Blue Jays. Looking to come in for a save opportunity. (3-2) to Schneider. Outside and low, ball 4. Pretty nice at bat off the bench. Davis Schneider picks up a walk.
That sweeper was way off the plate from Weissert, but it was also the same exact location, same pitch that Ernie Clement reached out and got his base hit on.
Danny Jansen's going to go out and talk to Weissert after the single and then the walk allowed to start this inning. Red Sox infield converging as well. Leo Jimenez will hit next for the Blue Jays. Weissert, the right-hander, made the awkward switch, although it wasn't his choice, from the Yankees to the Red Sox. Was traded from New York to Boston as part of the package for Alex Verdugo in December. Broke camp with the Red Sox, spent a little bit of time in the middle of the season in AAA, but back with Boston now and nearing 50 appearances. He's a New York guy, though, from Long Island. Went to school at Fordham in the Bronx, drafted by the Yankees, but is having his biggest breakthrough at the major league level with the rival Boston Red Sox. Leo Jimenez now up for the Blue Jays. 2 on, nobody out. And the pitch from Weissert. Jimenez squares early to bunt and puts it down foul. 0-1.
I mean, we don't see John Schneider play small ball very often, but with no outs in this inning, runners on first and second, and a guy that can handle the bat, Leo Jimenez is probably your best bunter on this team, maybe outside of Dalton Varsho. This is a good idea right here from John Schneider.
Leo squaring early again, 0-1. And he bunts in, and a diving catch by the pitcher Weissert, who pops up and throws to second. 1 back to first, not in time. Nearly a triple play. It'll be a double play, though, on the bunt, as Jimenez popped it up to the third base side. Weissert went full stretch to grab it and then tossed out Ernie Clement trying to get back to second base.
Leo Jimenez walking off the field with a little smirk on his face. Ernie Clement nodding his head. That's an incredible play. An incredible effort from Weissert.
He was the only one who was going to be able to corral that, and he went full stretch running off the hill before throwing back to Cedon Rafaela to start the double play, nearly a triple play. So now 2 outs and a runner on first. Weisert's pitch coming to Brian Servant. Outside, ball 1.
Yankees will probably see that highlight and think, we could use him.
I think they could. A team who's picking up relievers left and right these days. Weisert's 1-0. Swing and a line drive headed to right field, hanging up, caught by Refsnyder, and that will do it for the top of the 9th. No runs, a hit, 1 left, and we go to the bottom of the 9th inning with the Blue Jays up 2-0. Chad Green out of the Blue Jay pen and on the mound next. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
The Blue Jays are inviting you to work from Dome. Put it in your calendar. 307 weekdays starts this season. You can work from Dome with friends or coworkers at Rogers Center. It's a game changer. Make the ballpark your office for the afternoon. Work from Dome, 307 weekday starts. Let's touch base. Check out ticket options on bluejays.com/workfromdome.
Hey, this is Chad Green. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
I was brought up in the front row, that fire and brimstone.
Roger Lajoie back at baseball control. The bottom of the 9th we go. The Blue Jays lead the Red Sox 2-0. Soon as the game ends, we've got Jays Talk. Jeff Blair, Kevin Barker will take your calls. 1-888-666-0590, 416-870-0590, star 590, or text them at 590-590. Can the Jays hang on and leave Boston with another victory? We'll find out. Let's get to the call of the bottom of the 9th inning with Ben Shulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Raj. Chad Green is into the game for the Blue Jays. The veteran right-hander looking for his 16th save of the season, 15 for 15, and sports a 1.65 ERA in 43 games. Green faces 9-1-2 in this inning. Cedon Rafaela, Jarren Duran, and Mickey Gasper. Blue Jays up 2-0. Pitch to Rafaela. Fastball high, 1-0. One-0 pitch. Swing and a miss at the slider, 1-1.
This is a huge game for the Boston Red Sox. 3 games back of that final wild card in the American League. Almost a must-win.
Trying to catch Minnesota. 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss, 1-2. Blue Jays go to Minnesota tomorrow for 3 games. Blue Jays, meanwhile, trying to continue a charge back toward 500. 5 games below 500 right now. 1-2. Slider outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And just to clarify, this would be a split of the series if they win this game, right?
It would.
Okay.
Technically, Monday's first game helped the Blue Jays win a June series over Boston, as awkward as that sounds. 2-2 is rolled back foul. If the Red Sox come back and win, they'll have won the season series over the Blue Jays. They've won 6 this year. Toronto's won 3. 2-2. Swinging a ground ball. Vacuumed up at third by Barger. Throw over to first. Rafaela retired. 1 out.
Addison Barger swings the bat now. He's playing a great third base. Like you said, he just vacuumed that thing up. Made a perfect throw across the diamond. We've all seen his arm, and he showed it off there.
This is why I think through some of the tougher times they stuck with Barger, because the physical tools are outstanding for the rookie. 1 out, top of the order, pitch to Jarren Duran. Inside, ball 1. A rare quiet night so far in this series for Duran. 0 for 3 in this game. The pitch. Hits it foul on the ground behind the plate, 1-1. Duran entered this game 7 for 15 with 5 extra base hits, 3 of them homers in the last 3 days. Reached on an error once today. That's all he's done at the plate. 1-1 pitch, pop back foul, 1-2. A lot of that to do with the excellence of Bowden Francis today. Went 7 innings and allowed only 1 hit. The hit and the Duran error were the only base runners that Francis gave up. Cabrera pitched to scoreless 8th. Now Green on for the 9th. 1-2. Swing and a pop-up. Middle of the infield. Clement emphatically calling for it. Backs up onto the grass, makes the catch, and there are 2 down.
Pretty good slider right there from Chad Green. Jarren Duran was way out in front of it. It wasn't really located all that well, but it had just enough movement to miss the barrel.
Bases still empty, and that's what Green wants, preventing the tying run from coming up. 2 down, Mickey Gasper, the switch hitter and rookie at the plate. The pitch. Down and in, ball 1. And did it hit him? It did. Looks like it caught Gasper on the foot. And that's a tough break. That's going to bring the tying run to the plate in the form of Tyler O'Neill.
And this is certainly not the guy you want up right now. And that ball definitely did just clip that right inside part of Mickey Gasper's foot. The Blue Jays thought about looking at this, but they saw that replay and they choose not to.
Or it looks like the Blue Jays are going to challenge.
They are going to.
It's hard for me to tell on the replay if it got him or not, to be honest. We're seeing a view. He's batting left, so we're seeing a view kind of from the righty batter's box looking at him.
Well, I think the Blue Jays are challenging this just because it's the end of the ball game, and it's a huge part of this ball game, right? You don't want Tyler O'Neill coming up with the tying run as the tying run.
And you're right, on another angle, it looks pretty clear that it got him. This is, to a certain extent, a use it or lose it challenge with 2 outs in the 9th. You get another challenge back if you're an extra inning, so if you're not going to use it now, then when?
I think the biggest telltale right here is you can see the rotation of the baseball change as it crosses his foot. I mean, I don't work in that replay booth, but pretty clear to me.
Call on the field is hit by pitch.
After review, the call on the field is confirmed. Hit by pitch. Batters awarded first base.
So the call is confirmed, not only meaning that they couldn't overturn it, but that they could tell definitively that it was a hit by pitch rather than if the call stands. So that puts this game in an interesting spot. 2-0 Blue Jays, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th. Tyler O'Neill up. The Burnaby, BC native has 5 homers in 9 games against the Blue Jays coming into this one. Today he's 0 for 3. He represents the tying run. The pitch. Fastball, 97 for strike 1.
And Tyler O'Neill loves himself a fastball. We saw that last night against Brendan Little. Brendan Little left a mid-90s fastball over the middle of the plate, and Tyler O'Neill hit a homer.
0-1. Slider hit on the ground at the shortstop. Clement picks it up, throws to first, and that's the ball game. Bowden Francis leads the charge again. He pitches 7 scoreless. Guerrero and Clement come up with RBI doubles, and the Blue Jays take it 2-0.
I almost want to say that Bowden Francis was more impressive today than he was in his last start against the Angels. This lineup was just a tick above that Angels lineup. Yes, no Rafael Devers, but there are good hitters in this lineup. Everything was working for him today. He was locating the fastball. He mixed in the split finger when he needed to. Didn't really throw a lot of sliders or a lot of curveballs. but you don't have to when you're locating that fastball, and I think that was the biggest thing for him today.
How long the run lasts, we'll have to wait and see, but it's pretty fun watching him pitch right now. Francis gets the win and leads the Blue Jays to a 2-0 victory as they leave Boston to go to Minnesota. Stick around. We're going to wrap it up on the other side and get you over to Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza's big hitter, fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca. We're two men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think two men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're two men and a truck.
Two men and a truck, the movers who care.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Fastball painted at the bottom of the zone, and that's back-to-back strikeouts.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
2-0, the Blue Jays beat the Boston Red Sox, leaving the series on a winning note, and in a way, winning the series as they take 3 of the games out of the 5 that they played in Boston. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. We'll get you over to Blue Jays Talk in a sec. Chris, we talked about Bowden Francis. He was simply phenomenal again today. Another 7 shutout innings. But he had a worthy opponent today on the other side. Cutter Crawford was very good for the Red Sox. 6 2/3, 6 hits, 2 earned, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts.
Yeah, it was another fun one to watch. Last night was a great pitcher's duel. Tonight was almost arguably a better pitcher's duel. Cutter Crawford went toe-to-toe with Bowden Francis, who has been a force for the last 2 weeks. Cutter Crawford mixed in the cutter, he mixed in the off-speed stuff, and he threw that 4-seam fastball when he needed to. It was a really fun game to watch.
Really only 2 moments when the Blue Jays were on Crawford. One of them was the 3rd inning. It wasn't really Crawford's fault. The bloop of all bloop doubles from Brian Serven to start the 3rd inning on a miscommunication in shallow center, and then Vladimir Guerrero Jr. tags a ball off the center field wall to knock in Serven. And then you go to the 6th inning where Crawford gets Guerrero and Horwitz to start the frame, but red-hot Addison Barger hits an automatic double before Ernie Clement steps up with today's play of the game. Less moving parts, Schneider said today. Now Clement rips the 0-1 pitch down the left field line. That's going to one-hop into the monster. Barger around 3rd, comes home. It's an RBI double for Clement, and the Blue Jays take a 2-0 lead.
That is a huge run, a big hit, another big hit from Ernie Clement. It seems like he comes up with a big hit at least once a series. Alex Cora not happy in that Red Sox dugout, but the young guns getting it done. Ernie Clement, Addison Barger, and the Blue Jays lead 2-0 now. Well, Cutter Crawford made 2 mistakes today. He threw that 4-seam fastball on the inside part to Addison Barger for a double down the line, and then he hung a 4-seam fastball to Ernie Clement for that 2nd run of the ball game. Another double down the left field line. 2 guys that are impressing me every single series, especially Ernie Clement. I mean, he's been so good all season long. I know the expectations are pretty high with Addison Barger with the power and the athleticism, but Ernie Clement he's such a ball player. He does everything right. He has fun with everything he does, and then he comes up with huge hits like this.
Blue Jays inexperienced players or younger players come through again to guide them to a 2-0 win. On the other end of that spectrum, Rich Hill pitches in this game, making his season debut, which was a lot of fun to watch. The 44-year-old pitching now at 20th season. He threw a scoreless inning in a 3rd, but the Blue Jays take it 2-0. Toronto scores 2 runs on 7 hits, 1 error, leaves 7 on. No runs for the Red Sox, 2 hits, no errors, 3 left on. The win for Bowden Francis, he's now 8-3. The loss for Cutter Crawford, 8-12. And Chad Green, a perfect 16 for 16 in save opportunities. This one took 2 hours and 12 minutes in front of almost 32,000 on a bit of a colder night at Fenway Park, but the Blue Jays have a warm feeling as they go onto the flight. They win the game 2-0 to go to 66-70. Red Sox now 69-65. We will be back tomorrow with first pitch of Blue Jays Twins. Toronto going to Target Field to take on Minnesota, the team that eliminated them last year. 8:10 is the first pitch of Game 1. Game coverage will start at 8 o'clock. Hope you can join us then. For our technical director tonight, Tom Young, our producer, Nick Blackmore, our host, Roger Lajoie, and my partner, Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. Hope you have a great rest of your evening. Thanks so much for tuning in, and stick around. It's time for Blue Jays Talk, a winning edition with Blair and Barker. It starts right now.
Well, I wonder if anybody's got Taylor Ward's number handy. Do you have it handy? Kevin might want to give old Taylor a call and see what he thinks of Bowden Francis
We
tonight.
should try and get him on Blair and Barker tomorrow.
We should. Yeah, we should. I mean, it's not like he's playing for a major league team or anything, so it's not like he's got anything to worry about. You know? 2-0. The Blue Jays. My Blue Jays beating the Boston Red Sox tonight.
Yeah.
Bowden Francis, very, very good again. You know, Kevin, we talked about the 8 innings of no-hit ball against the Angels, and you know, that led to Mr. Ward's comments after the game about Bowden Francis. You know, we talk about the American League Player of the Week honors he won for back-to-back games, or I'm sorry, for games against the Angels and Cubs. But, you know, this is Fenway Park. This is the Boston Red Sox. This is a playoff team. He was awfully good tonight, Kevin.
Yeah, I'm sure, you know, a little bit of that, no Devers, that helped a little bit, right? You know,
Sure.
Look, I think it's about whenever you're hitting, you try and hit the fastball. You want to get athletic with that. When you're pitching, it's the same thing. I think out of the 70 pitches, he threw 37 of those were fastballs. That's 53% of the pitches. What's impressive about that is he got 25 swings. He got 4 whiffs. He had 7 called strikes. It was in the zone 68% of the time. And the only reason, normally I wouldn't run a bunch of numbers off to you like that, but the only reason is because that gets a hitter into swing mode, and that allows a pitcher now to use more split fingers, some sliders, and some curveballs. You can change speeds on that. Servants was talking about there in post game with Hazel about, you know, you mix in, you can sprinkle in the slider against the righties. You can add that because you've established the fastball, and when you're locating it and you're hitting your spots with the fastball, now I have to stand on the on-deck circle, and I have to get it going, and I have to think I'm covering all kinds of different quadrants, and you know, that leaves the door open for me to chase some split fingers, some sliders, some curveballs. So, you know, he's doing all that. Servant called a really good game, kept the pace up. You know, you want to get it. You want to push the button. You want to get him on to the next pitch. You establish that one main pitch like he's done his last four or 5 starts. And this is sort of the way it looks. You get him the lead. You know, the big boy got the big double there in the 3rd inning. You know, let him exhale a little bit on the mound, attack the zone. You know, I like the way he sprinkled in the curveball. You know, he's not abusing that thing. You got to be careful when you use it. It's like 0-0 counts, 2-1 counts. I think he threw it a couple of times and 0-1 counts right. It's sort of unpredictable. You're flipping it in there to a certain kind of hitter, like a left-handed hitter. You just want to be unpredictable after a certain kind of pitch, right? You're not trying to get him out with that. You want to be unpredictable with it. You want to get ahead with it so you can get him out in different ways. So, yeah, he's thinking his way through it. I like when John took him out. Velocity was down on all of his pitches. He threw 117 pitches last outing. You know, Cabrera's been off the charts good, you know, the last couple of months. So, you know, and then Chad Green, that's 16 for 16. Like, you know, he had it set up the way, you know, exactly the way he wanted to get it set up. And I mean, that's exactly what the doctor ordered. Get a couple of timely hits, play good defense, other than the dumb base running with Clement when the bunt goes up. I mean, Jeff, sometimes it's mind-boggling. Just, it's almost like Little League. You put your head down and run till somebody tags you out. I mean, it's baseball 101. You were taught that when you were a kid. You see somebody trying to bunt, the ball goes in the air, freeze. And when in doubt, go back to the bag. Don't take off running. And, you can even see it in John's face over there, man alive. Like, if this is going to be part of the team next year, this is the little things they're going to have to do. So they need to clean those things up. But
yeah,
got out of there with the win, and Bowden was good.
Yeah, you know what? I've been doing this show, not this show, but Blair and Barker or whatever it was called before then. I don't know. I can't remember what it was called. It all runs together. But we always talk about that. Oh, the Blue Jays have to get better in the base paths. We said that in 2015, too. They got to get better. I got a better idea. Don't bunt. How about that? Why don't we just not ask guys who've never bunted to bunt? Why not?
Yeah, I mean, that's hard to do, especially when you got a guy who's probably the
bunt, Kevin,
26.
He bunted in rookie ball. He's not had a bunt since then. And you're asking the dude to drop a bunt in Fenway Park.
Yeah, I think 26th, 27th guy on a baseball team should know how to bunt with first and second, nobody out in the ninth inning up 2 runs. Like, yeah, I mean, normally I'm with you, but in this case, learn how to get it down.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, you are right. It was, it was Ernie Clement's base running that was
awful.
The thing. But again, I just don't ask guys to, we seem to have this idea in baseball that if a guy looks like he can bunt, he can bunt. That's not the case. That's not the case. Anyhow, again, the Jays won. They got great starting pitching from Bowden Francis. Did you think, he had a no-hitter through 5? Did you think at any point that we might be looking at, a no-hitter in this game? The pitch count was down. What was it, 49 through 5 innings? It felt a little like one of those nights, I thought.
Yeah, not really. I mean, I think you could tell when the camera was panned over, Petey was having a few more conversations than he normally would have with a guy who was – hadn't given up any hits. I just think with what he had done last time, where the velocity was at on all of his pitches, they're going to be careful with him. Would it have been a nice story to run that thing into to the bottom of the ninth with no hits? Maybe. I think, again, this is getting back to, going into next season. They need to know exactly what they got. And right now, I got to be honest with you, I'd rather see Bowden throw than Yariel throw. That's a fact.
Without question.
Yeah.
Without question.
Yeah. So
416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-866-0590. A winning edition of Blue Jays Talk along the Sportsnet radio network. Jeff Blair and Kevin Barker. A question for you listeners. We spent much of this year talking about the negatives, understandably. What of the surprises or the youngish or the newish guys that you've seen from the Blue Jays, who's caught your eye? Who's caught your eye of this group? 416-870-0590, star 591, 888-866-0590. Russ in New Jersey, you're on Blue Jays Talk. What's up, Russ?
Good evening. I was just hoping, I know you don't, it's early in the game, it's only the 5th and 6th inning, but you're hoping that if he gets a no-hitter, he hadn't walked anybody, and you're hoping that error would have made a great play to get to the ball, and then he throws it away. Isn't what, doesn't come down to that. I remember, and you guys might remember this, Jerry Royce of the Dodgers, when I was a kid, he had a perfect game, and Bill Russell made an error at shortstop for the Dodgers, and he lost his perfect game to that. So you're just hoping that, that wasn't the play that cost him a perfect game. I know it was early in the game, but I kept on saying, just walk somebody, But, you probably, Jeff, you probably remember a lot of those one-hitters, Dave Stevens those days, and, you wrote that book, Tomorrow I'll Be Perfect. I'll tell you something that I remember as a Jay fan, a one-hitter, Phil Huffman. throwing a one-hitter and Jim Esty and getting the only hit. And I met Phil Huffman 2 years ago, and I went over that game with him, and he couldn't believe that I remember. I remember it was it was a weekday afternoon game. Phil Huffman threw a one-hitter, Jim Esty, and the only hit. So as a kid, you remember all those, the Jim Clancy, Randy Bush game. I remember that one. So, and Steve with all those one-hitters. So those ones are always you remember as a kid.
Yeah. What do you? Obviously, we like what we've seen from Francis. Russ, you see a lot of these games. You see almost all of them. Who do you like of these guys we've seen called up?
It's up and down. I love Horowitz's approach. Obviously, he's struggled a lot lately. He got off to a quick start, and even that Houston, that July 1st game, I remember he got 3 hits off a lefty, and you're going, but you're going to see a lot of bad and good from some of these hitters, and it's about adjustments. Obviously, you look at last year, and you're saying Schneider. Of course, he wasn't going to be what he came up and he had the Boston series, and then he went and he was just hitting Cleveland, but you didn't expect this either. I'm saying. Pitchers adjust, and it's how you adjust, to the pitcher. So you've seen Barger, you've seen some good stuff and some bad stuff, and you're going to see a lot of that from some of these guys. And the big question is how they adjust, and that's why the last month of the season, even though we're not playing for a playoff spot, but it does mean something how they adjust. Listen, today with all the video and all that, you get a good look at what a hitter's weakness is, and you try to exploit it. And the job of the hitter is to try to make the adjustments, and we'll see how many of these guys. I think Hurwitz will make the adjustments. I think he's a very good hitter. He's a patient hitter. He doesn't swing at bad pitches. He's going through a hard time, but I think the other guys are having, like I said, you see a lot of ups and downs. And it's that's the game of baseball. Make the adjustments, hopefully, and make sure that the pitchers don't exploit that weakness that they think you have, and hopefully you can make that adjustment so the next time up you don't get fooled by the pitcher. But I really have liked the way Hurwitz has approached at the plate. He has professional at bats.
Yeah, Russ, appreciate the call. Thank you. I think. Kevin, I know you've mentioned this as well. I think the fact that, and I'm not going to make excuses for Davis Schneider, but he's a right-handed hitter, and he's going to run into some tough right-handed pitching. I think for a guy like Spencer Horwitz, it might be a little easier. You might be able to pick your spots for Spencer Horwitz a little more. You can't do that if you're Davis Schneider. You made the point about Davis Schneider. For Davis Schneider to have a job in this game, he's got to crush left-handed pitching to the point where he has to be in the lineup against a lefty.
Yeah, you got to remember, too, they keep sticking Horowitz in the cleanup spot, hitting behind the big boy. Big boy's always on base, right? So it's a lot to ask, right? I mean, I don't want to say he's a kid because of his age. I think he's 26 years old. Russ is exactly right. His approach is a little bit more advanced than some of the other guys, but hitting in the cleanup spot's no joke, Jeff.
You know what, though? I think what John Schneider's doing, too, though, is just kind of playing righty-lefty.
He is. He's the best option right now, but that's a spot in the order where you got to be wearing your big boy pants. And if you ain't used to wearing big boy pants at that level, it's not the easiest spot to hit in. So, yeah, Russ is right. I think you give him a little bit of a longer leash. You like his at bats. He's a tough out most of the time. He will battle. He can use the entire field. He can hit a line drive. He can hit velocity. It's just when you're hitting behind the big boy and they're pitching to you instead of him, they're pitching to you for a reason because they know how to get you out. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be intriguing just to see. Again, I've said this and I'll continue to say it. There's no expectations. They're trying to stay on a team. That's different than when you walk into spring training next year and say Horowitz is the everyday second baseman. He's expected to hit and get on base all the time. Hopefully not hitting out of the cleanup spot, but there's going to be a lot of expectations around him. So you'd rather get all of this stuff he's going through now out of the way.
Well, not only was it a good performance from Bowden Francis, but once again he worked very well with Brian Serven, the Blue Jays catcher. Serven threw out a base runner, contributed offensively as well. That's the third start in a row Servin has caught Bowden Francis. And John Schneider, the manager of the Toronto Blue Jays, talked about the connection between Francis and Servin.
Bowden bleeping Francis. I mean, fifth, yeah. Early, fifth inning was like, all right, here we go. I kind of looked at Pete and was like, yeah, he was just in total control. I mean, he's got such a good way about him, mentally, physically, execution-wise. His pitch mix is awesome. Not much more to say other than he's really fucking good right now.
Brian Servin has been behind the plate his last 3 starts, I believe. How much did their kind of relationship down in Buffalo do you think helped in the chemistry?
Yeah, I think a little bit. I mean, Serv is a student of the game, and he is very prepared. And I think, it happens sometimes when a pitcher and a catcher kind of get locked in. There's a whole bunch of conviction being called and thrown with every pitch, and they're on a good roll. But Servin, I love the way he's kind of gone about himself. Even back to spring training, he's got a really good idea of what he wants to do, and him and Bowden are in a pretty good role.
That sound in the background, by the way, is Alex Cora taking his outfield defense out behind the woodshed. I'm sorry.
That's a good one. That's a good one, Jeff.
Buck did make a point about the Red Sox great defensive runs saved in the outfield, and they are capable of booting it in the outfield. They are capable of booting it around.
Yeah, Costas at first base looked like he never caught a ball before. I mean, and you never want your first baseman to look like he's never caught a baseball before.
No, that's not good.
Yeah, they gotta have to clean that up somehow. And it's very odd that Alex Cora has a really bad defensive team.
Yeah, it is. It's really
odd.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And Jarren Duran, is just. I mean, we saw that. Do you remember that was it 2 years ago where the Jays won like 28-5 or something
inside the Parker, I think.
Inside the Parker, and it's not just the misplays, but like Buck pointed out, you basically gave up on a play tonight.
Yeah,
that's not it's not a great look.
No,
but yeah, I am with you. It is remarkable to see an Alex Cora team boot the ball around like that. 2-0, the Blue Jays beat the Boston Red Sox. They won 3 of the 5 games they played in these 4 days in Boston, but it goes down only as a series split because, of course, the one game goes into the record books as being played on June 26th. In case any of you forgot, that was the day that Danny Jansen played for both teams, and his name appeared in the box score for both teams, because I know that it hasn't been mentioned enough. I just wanted to make sure that people understood that. The Jays are off to Minnesota to take on the Twins, and the Twins in a world of hurt right now. The Boston Red Sox, look, if you're the Boston Red Sox right now, if you're Alex Cora, you sent a bottle of champagne to John Schneider and said, go get him, big guy, because if you're the Boston Red Sox, you want to see the Blue Jays go into Minnesota and sweep the Twins. That is who the Red Sox are aiming for right now in order to get in the playoffs. 416-870-0590, star 590, 888-666-0590. Let's step away and go back to the phone lines. It's Blue Jays Talk on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face, come and meet Ace and run base to base. Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You could bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Sundays are for Junior Jays, and with all kinds of cool new games and activities in the exciting outfield district areas, there's no end to the family fun you'll have.
If you're feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikey's accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
This summer, catch the excitement of Blue Jays baseball on Sportsnet. From pregame to postgame, Blue Jays Central breaks down what went down and why. When the action heats up on the field, Sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet app take you deeper inside the game. Headlines, scores, highlights, and more.
It is way out of here.
Watch or stream on Sportsnet or listen to every game on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. All summer, only one source brings you closer to the action. Sportsnet, home of the Blue Jays.
Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's Building Centre. Visit timbermart.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
It's an RBI single, Addison Barger. 5-run frame so far.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Locating, for one, his split is carrying the zone better than I've ever seen, than a lot of guys. There's not many in the dirt. There's a lot of weak contact. They were kind of aggressive, probably trying to take the split away a little bit, and he moved his fastball around really well. He got up and in on a couple of guys, Cassis, Yoshida, O'Neill, and every pitch had a purpose. So. Yeah, I'm kind of running out of things to say about him right now.
All right, well, we'll let you run then. That is John Schneider, manager of the Blue Jays, talking about Bowden Francis. John Schneider will join us tomorrow, by the way.
Nice.
We'll ask him more about Bowden Francis, and I'll ask him what it was like to manage a game where Danny Jansen played for both teams and appeared in the same box score, because I'm sure he hasn't.
I hope he hangs up on you.
Yeah, I'm sure he hasn't answered that. That question enough. 416-870-0590, star 590. 1-888-666-0590. Don't worry, folks. It gets better. Martin in New York, you're on Blue Jays Talk.
Hey, guys. What up?
How are you, man?
Yep. Diehard Blue Jays fan. I just want to know, let's just be down to earth here. They need a lot of players to compete in 2025. They need a lot. And Ross Atkins' track in the offseason, he hasn't done much. I'm not going to lie. He still needs to extend Vlad. There's a lot to do. I appreciate Francis' outing tonight, insane, but there's so much to do.
Yeah. Martin, I appreciate the call. You're absolutely right. Cannot argue with you in the slightest. Some people would say they need 2 thumpers.
Yeah. Some people would say that, and just the question will be, Jeff, will they get 2 thumpers?
Well, we'll have to wait and see, because apparently they're running it back, so we'll...
That's the word.
Wait and see. Guy and Maple, you're on Blue Jays Talk.
Hey, guys, yeah, I think Bowden's wrapped up pitcher of the month in the American League after tonight's start. I think that's a foregone conclusion. But it's
I hadn't even thought of that. But you know what? I mean, I'd have to look at the other pitchers. But yeah, I actually hadn't thought of that, Keith. But I would think you'd have a shot at it.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, I don't know, and I don't expect you to remember. I know, Blair, you got a really good memory. Parker, maybe not as much, but but I don't. I'm not Chris or anything, Parker. I'm just like you're funny. But the thing I wanted to say is, I don't know if you guys remember on opening day, I made two predictions. One of them's far-fetched as much as the second one. The first one was that Kevin Biggio would be the offensive wild card for the Jays.
Oh, he was.
And then the second one was, I said that by the time the season's over, Bowden Francis would be the ace of the staff. And
you did not.
I did. Go back to the tape.
You said he'd be the ace of the staff?
Opening day. Listen to the tape.
All right, I'm going back. I'm going to go back. Okay, I don't. Hey, I know you. You don't lie. I'm gonna put my crack staff on it. I'm gonna get the best researcher we have at the station on it, and I'm gonna have him go back.
And it started off as "Merry Christmas," if you remember. That was my opening line. But anyways, on opening day. But anyway, it has. It's not so much that he's got this new pitch, and I just thought the way he pitched at the end of last year, he was way above average as a reliever, and I just really liked what I saw. And now with this splitter that he's come up with, I mean, this guy's unbelievable. And
you know what?
How long it's going to last?
Yeah, but I appreciate the call, Guy, and I do have to tell you that, and Kevin, you can verify this, but Pete Walker's been all in on him for a while. He's been all in on him for a while.
Yeah. Well, I think because of what they were having at the beginning of the year, they really didn't know where to put him. Like, they didn't really know how to use him, right? They really didn't want to give him an inning out of the pen. They either wanted him to be the long relief guy or a fifth starter. And, it just so happens he's a little late to the party when it comes to getting his opportunity to be the fifth starter. He keeps locating the heater. I think he should be fine.
By the way, John Schneider saying that Joey Loperfido is going through tests right now. If you watched the game or heard the game, he banged into the left field wall, the scoreboard, or the left field wall, actually, in Fenway, making a catch, and did make hard contact with the back of his head and the top of his shoulder. So I presume they're putting him through concussion. They're putting him through concussion protocol. Davis Schneider did come in to replace him, and both Buck and Dan talked about. And I've been there, and you know what it's like, Kevin, when dudes take batting practice and that ballpark is empty and the ball hits that wall, it makes there's no give. There's no give in that wall.
Yeah, I think he mistimed his jump a little bit too. That's why he hit his head the way he did, right? It's very hard if you don't play there every single day, just to know like the timing of, even when you're supposed to leave your feet, you see a lot of guys backpedal there because they want to get closer to the infield because they know if it's over their head, it's probably a double anyway. So it's just, I think that part of it, it's very hard to learn that in 4 or 5 days. And, hopefully he's okay. And because he is starting to look a little bit better at the plate. And I'm sure the Blue Jays want to play that out and see what that turns into be.
Let's go to Ryan in Innisfil. Take us home, Ryan.
How we doing, boys?
We're doing well, man. It's a lot more fun watching this group than what we spent 2.5 months watching.
Hey, it's more fun than I've had in like the past 2 years watching, to be honest with you. It's actually good baseball. I had a couple points. One was about Bo Bichette. One was about like potential playoffs. But the first one, I kind of want to touch on Bowden Francis as well because it's very exciting to watch him pitch, man. My favorite thing about him is it's not just that he's added the splitter. It's like his ability to kind of play with it outside of just like low in the zone. Like when Kevin Gausman is working with it, it's dominant and like low in the zone, like around the knees. But Bowden Francis, he can like play with it high, sort of like a slow J-Hat fastball where like he goes at them high in the zone. It's cool to watch. Like if he can like keep that going, man, and I like how he can kind of play with the fastball speed as well. Bowden Francis is a very intriguing little, I wouldn't call him a prospect, but
it's fun to watch.
To have, right?
Yeah, it's fun to watch. Absolutely. Hey, found money in your starting pitching?
Man, he's awesome. And then another thing, just I'm down on Bo Bichette. I've thought of a team that might be perfect to trade for with Bo Bichette. I'm thinking like the Cleveland Guardians. They could really use someone like him, and they have a really young second baseman over there, and Jimenez is his last name, I believe. He's quite solid. If you can get him and maybe a piece from the bullpen for Bo Bichette, and then sign 2 free agents or something along those lines, I think we can have a really good team next year because the pitching doesn't look too bad at all.
Appreciate the call, Ryan. Yeah, look, I mean, we talked about this. The Jays have to figure out what they're doing. I mean, I would say they have to figure out what they're doing with Bo and Vladdy, but I think the focus is more on Bo right now because I think at least they have an idea what they have with Vladdy. And that's why for me, you know, I didn't think, frankly, when Bo was hurt, I thought, yeah, if he comes back this year, great. If he doesn't, I don't care. But I think it's important that they get Bo back. And but yeah, look, Ryan can't argue with you, man. I mean, that's the conversation around Bo Bichette has changed. At least the public conversation around Bo Bichette has changed. Who knows what is being said internally in the Blue Jays executive suite. So it was a winning edition of Blue Jays Talk. The Blue Jays beating the Boston Red Sox off to Minnesota. Kevin Gossman tomorrow night against the Twins. Thank you for listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Malton and Milton. Oh, that's tricky. Malton and Milton, Ontario. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com. Canada's #1 rust protection.
This has been Major League Baseball play-by-play on SiriusXM and the SiriusXM app.
Why do I love calling this game?
Calling this game.
Calling this game. Calling this game.
Why do I love calling this game? It's because I get a chance to bring some joy into people's lives.
Anything can happen on a baseball field.
We've got a new game. It's perfectly unscripted theater.
Everybody on their feet.
Because you never know what you're going to see on a given day.
It is bedlam at the bank as Bryce Harper has put the Phillies on top.
There's just something about baseball on the radio.
Something about the way wood hits leather.
A swing and a drive to deep left center.
The way leather hits dirt.
And he made the play. Oh, my.
The way a deep fly ball sounds like it's about to change history.
High fly ball to center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall.
Until the cleats hit the grass, hit the crushed brick, and then nothing but sky and a silent crowd.
That ball's high.
Until leather hits leather and 40,000 fans lose their collective minds.
In a perfect symphony of chaos.
He jumped up on top of the wall, balanced himself, and caught it.
The way nothing triumphs a perfectly honest call.
I don't believe what I just saw.
And the way the right voice can make a moment live forever.
Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
Outsiders may think this is just two teams.
The ball, a bat, and a microphone, but no.
For over 100 years, this has been the soundtrack of the American pastime.
He struck it out looking. It's over. It's over. The Rangers have won the World Series.
The soundtrack of summer. This is Major League Baseball on the radio.
Right now on SiriusXM.
All rise.
Coming in 5.
Get ready to play. 4.
Get up. Get up.
3.
Can you believe it?
Put your seatbelt on.
Wow. Talk about the game and all the stories on MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM 89, and the SiriusXM app.
10 p.m. Detroit Tigers take on the LA Angels. Tigers on Sirius 208 XM 175 and Internet 849. Angels on Internet 852. 2:10 p.m. Milwaukee Brewers take on the San Francisco Giants. Brewers on Sirius 210 XM 177 and Internet 855. Giants on Internet 863. 2:10 p.m. Chicago White Sox take on the Texas Rangers. White Sox on Sirius 209 XM 176 and Internet 845. Rangers on Internet 867. Spanish feed on Internet 870. 2:15 p.m. St. Louis Cardinals face the San Diego Padres. Cardinals on Sirius 211 XM 178 and Internet 865. Padres on Internet 862. 3:10 p.m. Colorado Rockies take on the Miami Marlins. Rockies on Sirius 106 XM 179 and Internet 848. Marlins on Internet 854. 3:40 p.m. Arizona Diamondbacks take on the New York Mets. Diamondbacks on Sirius 119 XM 180 and Internet 840. Mets on Internet 857. 5:10 p.m. Cincinnati Reds take on the Oakland A's. Reds on Sirius 137 XM 181 and Internet 846. A's on Internet 859. 6:40 p.m. Philadelphia Phillies take on the Atlanta Braves. Phillies on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 860. Braves on Internet 841. 7:10 p.m. Boston Red Sox take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Red Sox on Sirius 208 XM 175 and Internet 843. Blue Jays on Internet 868. 8:10 p.m., Houston Astros taking the Kansas City Royals. Astros on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 850. Royals on Internet 851. 10:10 p.m., LA Dodgers taking the Baltimore Orioles. Dodgers on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 853. Orioles on Internet 842. Spanish feed on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 871. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM MLB schedule for Thursday, August the 29th.
Get the latest news, opinion, and analysis from MMA to boxing and the professional wrestling world 24/7. Sirius XM Fight Nation, Sirius XM 156, and the SXM app.
Are the times a changin' for the Oakland Athletics? Well, David Frost, the Athletics general manager, stopped by SiriusXM MLB Network Radio on Channel 89 to talk about how he's seen more consistency from the team and believes that statement to be true.
You know, we've seen improvement in just about every part of the game. I mean, our starting pitching has been really consistent. You know, JP Sears had a little bit of a rough outing Friday night against Milwaukee, but leading up to that, you know, 4 straight of 7+ innings. He's kind of been the anchor of our staff. And then we've seen guys like Beto step up. You know, Joe Boyle came back from the minor leagues. Joey Estes has been really consistent throwing strikes and competing. So we've just seen more consistency. I think we've always felt like going back over the last 12 months, like there's a lot of talent here, but the consistency has changed on the offensive side. You know, Langolier's had a huge road trip in Toronto, New York, continues to hit the ball out of the park. Rooker, obviously, in the middle with his second straight 30-homer season. And then guys around J.J. Bleday has come a long way and stayed healthy, playing every day. Lawrence Butler has taken a step. So just all these like little improvements on both sides of the ball have really allowed us to play more consistently and obviously already passing our win total from 2023. I think these guys have, you know, a lot of confidence going forward.
Mad Dog Sports Radio has the best sports talk in the business, covering sports with a passion and knowledge you need. Mad Dog Sports Radio, Sirius XM 86, and the SXM app.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM MLB schedule for Thursday, August the 29th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 1:10 p.m., Detroit Tigers take on the LA Angels. Tigers on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 849. Angels on Internet 852. 2:10 p.m., Milwaukee Brewers take on the San Francisco Giants. Brewers on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 855. Giants on Internet 863. 2:10 p.m., Chicago White Sox take on the Texas Rangers. White Sox on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 845. Rangers on Internet 867. Spanish feed on Internet 870. 2:15 p.m., St. Louis Cardinals face the San Diego Padres. Cardinals on Sirius 211, XM 178, and Internet 865. Padres on Internet 862. 3:10 p.m., Colorado Rockies take on the Miami Marlins. Rockies on Sirius 106, XM 179, and Internet 848. Marlins on Internet 854. 3:40 p.m., Arizona Diamondbacks take on the New York Mets. Diamondbacks on Sirius 119, XM 180, and Internet 840. Mets on Internet 857. 5:10 p.m., Cincinnati Reds take on the Oakland A's. Reds on Sirius 137, XM 181, and Internet 846. A's on Internet 859. 6:40 p.m., Philadelphia Phillies take on the Atlanta Braves. Phillies on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 860. Braves on Internet 841. 7:10 p.m., Boston Red Sox take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Red Sox on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 843. Blue Jays on Internet 868. 8:10 p.m., Houston Astros take on the Kansas City Royals. Astros on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 850. Royals on Internet 851. 10:10 p.m., LA Dodgers take on the Baltimore Orioles. Dodgers on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 853. Orioles on Internet 842. Spanish feed on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 871. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM MLB schedule for Thursday, August the 29th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 1:10 p.m., Detroit Tigers take on the LA Angels. Tigers on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 849. Angels on Internet 852. 2:10 p.m., Milwaukee Brewers take on the San Francisco Giants. Brewers on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 855. Giants on Internet 863. 2:10 p.m., Chicago White Sox take on the Texas Rangers. White Sox on Sirius 209, XM 176 and Internet 845. Rangers on Internet 867. Spanish feed on Internet 870. 2:15 p.m., St. Louis Cardinals face the San Diego Padres. Cardinals on Sirius 211, XM 178 and Internet 865. Padres on Internet 862. 3:10 p.m., Colorado Rockies take on the Miami Marlins. Rockies on Sirius 106, XM 179 and Internet 848. Marlins on Internet 854. 3:40 p.m., Arizona Diamondbacks take on the New York Mets. Diamondbacks on Sirius 119, XM 180 and Internet 840. Mets on Internet 857. 5:10 p.m., Cincinnati Reds take on the Oakland A's. Reds on Sirius 137, XM 181 and Internet 846. A's on Internet 859. 6:40 p.m., Philadelphia Phillies take on the Atlanta Braves. Phillies on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 860. Braves on Internet 841. 7:10 p.m., Boston Red Sox take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Red Sox on Sirius 208, XM 175 and Internet 843. Blue Jays on Internet 868. 8:10 p.m., Houston Astros take on the Kansas City Royals. Astros on Sirius 209, XM 176 and Internet 850. Royals on Internet 851. 10:10 p.m., LA Dodgers take on the Baltimore Orioles. Dodgers on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 853. Orioles on Internet 842. Spanish feed on Sirius 210, XM 177 and Internet 871. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM MLB schedule for Thursday, August the 29th.
MLB Network Radio is your home for 24/7 baseball talk, featuring on-site coverage of every major event from spring training through the World Series and expert analysis from former general managers and players. Sirius XM, Channel 89.
Tampa Bay Rays manager Kevin Cash was on Sirius XM MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, to talk about why he thinks Junior Caminero has all the tools to be the next Rays star.
Super confident in what he's capable of doing, and he should be, because I sit there and watch his batting practice. It's as good as BP as maybe that I've ever witnessed of anybody. You're kind of jaw-dropping, and then sometimes it takes a minute to translate in game, but right now I think Kenny's doing a good job of kind of surviving in picking up a hit or two here and there. He's hit some balls hard. He is learning how teams and pitchers are going to attack him. And, we got a really talented player that it's going to be a lot of fun here the next 5 weeks to watch him get these at-bats in. He's going to basically play just about every day. I know he had the day off yesterday just because he had played 6 or 7 in a row. Get those at-bats. I think the most impressive thing that I've seen is the defense. The work that he's put in on defense with Morgan Insberg, our AAA manager, and then now with Brady Williams since he's been here. And he's made a lot of really nice plays, some plays that I don't know if he is capable of making in spring training. So give Junior a ton of credit for, wanting to be really good on both sides of the ball. Offensively, I couldn't put a limit on him. It is a lot of bat speed and a lot of power.
On the court and off, your home for the NBA is Sirius XM. Follow all the drama as your favorite team vies for it all. Sirius XM NBA Radio. Sirius XM 86.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM MLB schedule for Thursday, August the 29th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 1:10 p.m., Detroit Tigers take on the LA Angels. Tigers on Sirius 208, XM 175 and Internet 849. Angels on Internet 852. 2:10 p.m., Milwaukee Brewers take on the San Francisco Giants. Brewers on Sirius 210, XM 177 and Internet 855. Giants on Internet 863. 2:10 p.m., Chicago White Sox take on the Texas Rangers. White Sox on Sirius 209, XM 176 and Internet 845. Rangers on Internet 867. Spanish feed on Internet 870. 2:15 p.m., St. Louis Cardinals face the San Diego Padres. Cardinals on Sirius 211, XM 178 and Internet 865. Padres on Internet 862. 3:10 p.m., Colorado Rockies take on the Miami Marlins. Rockies on Sirius 106, XM 179 and Internet 848. Marlins on Internet 854. 3:40 p.m., Arizona Diamondbacks take on the New York Mets. Diamondbacks on Sirius 119, XM 180 and Internet 840. Mets on Internet 857. 5:10 p.m., Cincinnati Reds take on the Oakland A's. Reds on Sirius 137, XM 181 and Internet 846. A's on Internet 859. 6:40 p.m., Philadelphia Phillies take on the Atlanta Braves. Phillies on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 860, Braves on Internet 841. 7:10 p.m., Boston Red Sox take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Red Sox on Sirius 208, XM 175 and Internet 843, Blue Jays on Internet 868. 8:10 p.m., Houston Astros take on the Kansas City Royals. Astros on Sirius 209, XM 176 and Internet 850, Royals on Internet 851. 10:10 p.m., LA Dodgers take on the Baltimore Orioles. Dodgers on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 853, Orioles on Internet 842, Spanish feed on Sirius 210, XM 177 and Internet 871. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM MLB schedule for Thursday, August the 29th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 1:10 p.m., Detroit Tigers take on the LA Angels. Tigers on Sirius 208, XM 175 and Internet 849. Angels on Internet 852. 2:10 p.m., Milwaukee Brewers take on the San Francisco Giants. Brewers on Sirius 210, XM 177 and Internet 855. Giants on Internet 863. 2:10 p.m., Chicago White Sox take on the Texas Rangers. White Sox on Sirius 209, XM 176 and Internet 845. Rangers on Internet 867. Spanish feed on Internet 870. 2:15 p.m., St. Louis Cardinals face the San Diego Padres. Cardinals on Sirius 211, XM 178 and Internet 865. Padres on Internet 862. 3:10 p.m., Colorado Rockies take on the Miami Marlins. Rockies on Sirius 106, XM 179 and Internet 848. Marlins on Internet 854. 3:40 p.m., Arizona Diamondbacks take on the New York Mets. Diamondbacks on Sirius 119, XM 180 and Internet 840. Mets on Internet 857. 5:10 p.m., Cincinnati Reds take on the Oakland A's. Reds on Sirius 137, XM 181 and Internet 846. A's on Internet 859. 6:40 p.m., Philadelphia Phillies take on the Atlanta Braves. Phillies on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 860. Braves on Internet 841. 7:10 p.m., Boston Red Sox take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Red Sox on Sirius 208, XM 175 and Internet 843. Blue Jays on Internet 868. 8:10 p.m., Houston Astros take on the Kansas City Royals. Astros on Sirius 209, XM 176 and Internet 850. Royals on Internet 851. 10:10 p.m., LA Dodgers take on the Baltimore Orioles. Dodgers on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 853. Orioles on Internet 842. Spanish feed on Sirius 210, XM 177 and Internet 871. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM MLB schedule for Thursday, August the 29th.
Sirius XM NFL Radio Channel 88 brings you expert analysis from former players, coaches, and executives, plus reaction to all the latest news on the only 24/7 station dedicated to the National Football League.
For Texas Rangers fans, they're all probably wondering when we will see Jacob deGrom back with the team. Well, Rangers general manager Chris Young joined SiriusXM MLB Network Radio on Channel 89 to give an update.
Well, there's no specific hard timeline yet. Jacob's making another rehab start on Tuesday in our AAA affiliate, Round Rock. But I was at his game a few nights ago in Frisco at our AA affiliate, and he looked just terrific. It looked like the old Jacob deGrom, and what I saw, and this is the stuff I knew was going to be there. What I saw was a player who was comfortable, who was happy, who was smiling, who was just excited to be back out there. He was no longer worried about his health. And I've been through this as a player. There's a difference between going out and competing when you're worried about something physically versus when you're feeling great physically and you're just focused on getting the hitter out. And I saw a pitcher who was out there just focused on making good pitches and getting the hitter out and competing. And for me, that was what I wanted to see. I'm so happy for him. He's worked so hard to be in this position. Our rehab team has done a tremendous job. Keith Meister, our team doctor who did the surgery, just phenomenal. It's been a collective effort, but Jacob deserves the credit. He's not far from rejoining the Major League team. We'll see how the next outing goes and then really map out a responsible way for him to pitch through September to get his feet wet back in the major leagues and then be strong and ready to go for 2025.
Follow every second of the action on NHL Network Radio. From behind the bench to every play on the ice. If it's hockey, it's on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM MLB schedule for Thursday, August the 29th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 1:10 p.m. Detroit Tigers take on the LA Angels. Tigers on Sirius 208 XM 175 and Internet 849. Angels on Internet 852. 2:10 p.m. Milwaukee Brewers take on the San Francisco Giants. Brewers on Sirius 210 XM 177 and Internet 855. Giants on Internet 863. 2:10 p.m. Chicago White Sox take on the Texas Rangers. White Sox on Sirius 209 XM 176 and Internet 845. Rangers on Internet 867. Spanish feed on Internet 870. 2:15 p.m. St. Louis Cardinals face the San Diego Padres. Cardinals on Sirius 211 XM 178 and Internet 865. Padres on Internet 862. 3:10 p.m. Colorado Rockies take on the Miami Marlins. Rockies on Sirius 106 XM 179 and Internet 848. Marlins on Internet 854. 3:40 p.m. Arizona Diamondbacks take on the New York Mets. Diamondbacks on Sirius 119 XM 180 and Internet 840. Mets on Internet 857. 5:10 p.m. Cincinnati Reds take on the Oakland A's. Reds on Sirius 137 XM 181 and Internet 846. A's on Internet 859. 6:40 p.m. Philadelphia Phillies take on the Atlanta Braves. Phillies on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 860. Braves on Internet 841. 7:10 p.m. Boston Red Sox take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Red Sox on Sirius 208 XM 175 and Internet 843. Blue Jays on Internet 868. 8:10 p.m. Houston Astros take on the Kansas City Royals. Astros on Sirius 209 XM 176 and Internet 850. Royals on Internet 851. 10:10 p.m. LA Dodgers take on the Baltimore Orioles. Dodgers on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 853. Orioles on Internet 842. Spanish feed on Sirius 210 XM 177 and Internet 871. I'm